And we are live. Hi all and welcome on OffenSkill, the weekly meetup where we teach, break, chill, and gather among passionate to break stuff, share thoughts about how we break stuff, and break more stuff.
How are you guys on doing? The agenda, I think. Yeah.
For some of you that are used to join weekly, this night is special. We have a special guest, and so we will give our best English accents and sentences that do make sense. Yes. And we'll go from that. I think it should smooth out over the night.
Yeah, you just need a few beer.
And then, coffee on my side, but sometimes
right.
you know.
Emil can you know.
Yeah, I can translate. That's
you
fine.
Can speak French, but you guys are stuck with English for me, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no trouble. That's a pleasure to also try to vary from the routine. La routine.
La routine.
And so tonight I asked Agari to be my co-streamer because he's the guy, the reverse proxy guy, the proxy guy, the URL and XML breaker. And so I wanted to have some strong support to welcome our two guests, Sitan and Justin Gartner, narrator. Emil.
Yep.
So glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I think we can try by just a short introduction of who you are, what you guys do all day long. What's your story?
Do you want to start, Justin?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I'm Justin Gardner. My job is to annoy this guy. Emil.
No, this guy.
This guy.
He moved it right as I did it. This guy right here. I'm a full-time bug bounty hunter actually, and I use Caido as my main HTTP proxy for that. And as such, I'm a power user, as you can imagine, and have a lot of feature requests and a lot of ideas that I constantly ping Emil with. And through that process, I somehow weaseled my way onto the Caido team and became an advisor, which I'm so grateful for. And I also use, I help advise with the product, but on the side, I also do Critical Thinking Bug Bounty Podcast, which is a very similar sort of vibe, right? That we were talking about it before. Is like by hackers for hackers, really trying to focus on like technical content and actually doing it, right? And and talking about things where we've actually been in the requests and what our experience has been like actually hacking. So feeling right at home here on the stream. Yeah, excited.
Awesome. Emil?
All right. For sure. So my name is Emil. I speak French, obviously. And I'm the co-founder of Caido, one of the co-founders of Caido. I've been working on it for, I think, 5 years now. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I don't know. I came from more of a builder background. So not necessarily breaking things, more like preventing stuff from breaking if we can. And auditing also AWS infrastructure and things like that. So that's kind of why I came to security through that way. And then with my co-founder, Korbenik, Jan, went into more the offensive side, started building Caido. And then, here we are 5 years
And then
later.
he roped you into that. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Emil got dragged kicking and screaming into the HTTP proxy wars.
Sometimes you say yes and you don't really think where it's going to bring you. That was kind of one of those days,
Happy accident?
Happy accident, I don't know. There is a sentence that like one of the YouTubers that I follow is like, I think he says like something like, we don't do that because it's easy. We do that because it thought it would be easy.
Could be stuff made here, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but that phrase stuck with me because it's like kind of describes where I'm feeling.
And his co-founder Korbenik or Ian, I met him at the live hacking events for bug bounty. So when we were competing, I think we actually met at the live hacking event for HackerOne in San Francisco.
The worst place to meet.
Yeah, I just, this is my first event that I had been there, myself for the whole event. And I sat down next to Ian, and he was very friendly and very talented, a big CTF guy at the time. And so I met him through that. And then he introduced me to Emil.
Nice. So how old was Caido when you joined as an advisor?
Geez, a year, 2 years, maybe 2.5.
I think
no,
in 1.5. I think I want to say 1.5.
Yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah,
young and promising.
Ever since the beginning, really, like I've been trying to like use the product and give them feedback and that sort of thing, just to support my buddy's product. But then when I made the switch full time from Burp to Caido, I started, obviously, the feature requests would increase and and then it's just all down the hill for Emil from there. I'm knocking on his door every day, like, hey, we could do this, we could do that.
But since we have plugins, it's like been interesting because then you can code a lot of it and you don't need to ping us. Like I remember like us walking, like not Last North, like the other one, and then it was like, and then you talking to me, like we had workflows at the time, but we didn't have like plugins. And then I remember, like, I don't know why, but sometimes you remember those moments. And then there's like, we do need plugins. That's true. And then,
Do you mean that plugins are a way to not have Justin bother you every day?
Exactly. That's kind of the point. Well, it just bothers me for hooks now. So like hooks and APIs, but that's fine.
Now I'm like, great, I got the plugins. Now then I start making the plugins, and I'm like, all right, well, I need this SDK. So now we're figuring it all out. But the plugin ecosystem is super rich now. And
let's keep some tech for later, guys.
All right.
We don't even have the Agari's introduction.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No trouble.
Yes, so I'm Nico. Very old people know me as Nicob. Younger people know me as Agari. What should I say? I'm the official trainer for Burp Suite in Europe. And I love to go to Canada too to train at NorthSec. That's where I met Emil. And in the old time, I did some bug bounty too, broke a few stuff. And I love XML and SSRF.
Yeah, for the record, I saw his work long time ago. It was like kind of the SSRF new era. And it was cool to have some deep research. Fuzzing was a thing, but not well documented. And he released some really cool articles. And the way he has to approach specific problems, sometimes like either YOLO mode or enter the theory game and understand like the mathematical aspect of it, and then just assume it's not, is it a bug, but like how long will it take to exploit, because he knows there's one, like he always has really cool tricks. I speak too fast and I glitch a lot.
So true, man. I definitely have had massive respect for Agari's work for a long period of time. And I've really, despite being like a Caido guy, I've always wanted to take his class anyway, just to like see what kind of stuff, because, obviously as hackers that are spending all of our time in HTTP proxies, I don't know, some of us have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, like, okay, we know how to use, Burp, or we know how to use it or whatever. And then every single person that I've ever seen take Agari's class comes out of it like, this is the best, however much money I've ever spent in my life, and I'm just like, that is a very high praise from these people that are saying that. So clearly it is an excellent piece of material.
Yeah, sometimes I'm quite afraid when I see the names of people subscribing to the training. I'm like, oh no, not this one. He's super strong. He will learn nothing from the training. And I mean, like nearly every time, because not 100%, but nearly every time, they are highly satisfied and they learn.
It's hard to satisfy that community. They're very. If I've learned one thing, is the hackers are like probably the hardest customers there is.
But like the level of quality, just like you have the training, which is intense and you can be tired, and then you have like the pack of 700 slides, and you're like, all right, we just covered the tip of the iceberg during the training, so. Yeah, plenty of. I to be honest, I did not even read to the full because just so time consuming. But I did take that as a quest, so that's gonna happen.
But I think there's a lot of value too to just like taking time to reflect about the tool that you're using, because a lot of times when we are hacking, we're so locked in on the application, trying to understand the threat model, trying to understand what's happening. Like we're just kind of using the tool without thinking about it. What's efficient, that sort of thing.
And even worse, like even if we know we could improve our workflow, when we are during an assessment, for example, like a time-limited assessment, we don't have the time to even read the documentation, read the API specification. I mean, the burp API specification, write a plugin. Usually, that's a mess. And so it's not some advertising, but during the training, I showed diverse extensions just to avoid people writing their own extensions for common needs, because they don't have the time. So it's better to be comfortable.
Maybe it says something about their extension system.
There you go. There's the punchy back and forth we were looking for with this one.
That was the plan, so let's go for it.
No, I think it's
No. The plan was no fight. Abort mission.
Hey, hold me back, Emil. I think with AI though, that is one of the things that I'm excited about. Not only does it increase like the speed at which you can develop plugins, but I think there's also a big opportunity, and this is something we've tried to lean into with Shift, to have AI know how to configure the app you're working with, right? In our case, Caido, and then just prompt it in natural language, say, hey, I want this match and replace rule. Hey, I want this, filter or whatever, right? And then it knows the syntax, it knows how to configure those objects. And even in those scenarios, you're not actually having to surrender the data, right? Like the HTTP request itself, which a lot of people are uncomfortable with. You're actually just configuring the tool, right? And I think that's a big area where the industry can improve.
So if you have these kind of features in Caido, I hope we will cover them tonight. On the burp side, it's available in Hackvertor. For example, you can describe what processing should be done in your custom tag, and it will write the code itself. So you don't need, as you said, you don't have to share the data, I mean the HTTP traffic. You just give some indication on the processing to be applied, and then you have your custom tag, and you can use it privately.
Beautiful.
Soon, locally on your machines. Hey, Cortana, hack.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Before we show up the plan, guys, I have one question for you. Have you been contacted by Strix, or like ever heard of this project?
No.
Strix?
Some AI agent to automate hacking stuff.
I mean, I track most of the companies that are in this space, so probably I have them somewhere. STRYX.
Give me a sec, I will screen share in a few.
Because we talked to like... okay, this guy. Okay,
Strix.
Yeah.
And so I've played a bit with it recently, and I've been really surprised, and like it was a good surprise because it worked like a charm, that it uses Caido headless as a proxy to be able to manipulate the request, replay, scan,
cool.
etc. Yeah, so I know Caido is trying to adapt AI. AI already ate pieces of your work to integrate it elsewhere, and now you can't break dependencies and stuff anymore.
That's cool. Okay, I didn't know that existed. Yeah, I'll definitely like reach out and check that's cool.
I'm not sure, Emil, but this might be the guy that I was talking to you about the other day.
Yeah.
It might be.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So we did get contacted by some guy that was wanting to use Caido as a harness for some AI agent stuff that he's creating. So could certainly be him.
Yeah, that's
look at that. Oh, that's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that was happy news.
Yeah. The GraphQL API is really strong, and certainly there is some difficulty. I think we still are making shifts to the GraphQL API, right? So there will be breaking changes, but in areas where you can't do what you need to do currently with the SDK, I can almost always get it done with just interacting with the GraphQL API directly.
No, that's cool. Yeah,
that was awesome to just realize that.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, now for the plan, tonight's plan. What are we gonna do? A lot of things. We'll try to go not too fast, not too slow, because we'll have plenty of things to cover. So
And
you
we will be late.
For sure.
not again. Not again. So guys, not to self, please burn your public keys right now.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to
Perfect.
burn it real quick.
Then what we said, we have the quick introduction of who we are with tonight. Then we have introduction, we're there. The plan, we are even more there. We'll try to start with a few fixing a few features, a few use cases, show how we actually use Caido to do stuff, to get things done. We'll have some stages on passive detectors, really specific use case, ProtoJSON, so something quite complex to work on that you wanted guys to show. Auto repeater, potentially scripting features within Caido. I don't even have the right word, so guys, you will introduce this.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But soon we will have the keywords. We will be all good.
Yeah.
Then we'll try to have not a fight, not a comparison, but side-by-side differential to show the different approaches that are taken by Burp Suite or Caido. So we'll focus on Caido, but every time try to find the equivalent, find how we would have done that, find what could be brought from one tool to the other, maybe.
I think we can lean on a lot on the chat there if they want to see like something specific in that.
We can try, but honestly, even if we cover like I think comparer, decoder, and all could be quite fast, just like a how-to clack. And we'll have more time to cover the more specific ones. So the extra features that you guys have implemented that are not either built-in or well present in Burp. And we'll have many Q&A and extra topics, how is AI integrated, etc. And maybe this one is like really optional. If we do have some more time, some extra time at the end, we'll try to cover a few things on how it's made, like development practices, how you try to keep your user secure, dependency confusion, etc.
Yeah.
Or not. Like, we'll see how far we can get.
I see we have a feature named Command Palette. Is it because you released it in Caido that they added it in Burp?
Perhaps so.
Probably. I don't know. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. I have to watch what I say sometimes, but I would say that a lot of the new features of Burps have similarly taken root from what we've done. So anyway, I'll just say that.
Guys, although you stole everything from Zap, anyway.
Yeah, everybody stole from Zap anyway, so I guess it's fair.
Exactly.
Because I'm not counting, but the new GUI for Proxy Intercept.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Plus the command palette. What I love about Caido, and I'm not using it. I love it even if I'm not using it because it's a competitor. And it will bring some new blood to the ecosystem. Competition is good for businesses. And it's even better for users.
Yeah, totally. And when I recently had James on the podcast, James Kettle,
nice,
from the Portswigger research team. And when we were talking about sort of like the back and forth, we kind of wanted to disclaim, in advance our various positions. And I think that was his position as well, is like, if we can get a good feature here, a good feature there, a good idea, that serves the hackers better in general. And that's the goal of the whole community. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think Portswigger is just not used to having competition as a company. Like they've never had really competition for a long time, and I think they did take for granted a lot of their hackers. So I think that's going to improve for everybody. So like you said, Nico, I think it's going to improve the life of everybody. So.
I want to say as well, I spoke to somebody, I was trying to remember who it was on the Portswigger team, but they were saying as well that a lot of the performance improvements in Burp over the past year or so have been rooted in Caido is crushing it in performance. So we need to make sure that our systems are more efficient. And I have seen, I think somebody tweeted out a graph that there has been substantial improvements in Burp's, memory consumption and that sort of thing. which is great because like I remember like when I was using Burp and trying to put it on like my little 8 GB RAM laptop or something like that, and it's just like not doing it.
Yeah. But anyway, even if it's Burp or something else, we do all the time, like as a hacker, try to max out the usage of what we have. So
Exactly.
you're always like feeling
True.
bottlenecked.
Yeah, people will find a way. That's one thing for sure. But because there's still like, even if you're super memory efficient, I mean, because of the nature of the tool, you can't like just, when you have big responses or things like that, you have to like accumulate them in memory at some point, because you do transformation on it, and it's not a stream. Like a lot of the proxies that you'll see traditionally from enterprises, they don't have to have that much memory because they stream the data as it comes in. But this kind of proxy is a bit different because you have to accumulate the data all in memory. So that you won't save, like no matter how efficient it is. So.
Yeah.
It could be almost full at the DB side with procedures, but like would be a mess to manage.
Yeah, it's very a mess. And the moment you want to add like plugins, modifying requests or responses, then you have to load it at some point in memory. So that's the life it is. So you'll still need always a lot of RAM if you have big responses, but there are ways to optimize the rest anyways.
Luckily, memory is cheap nowadays. I mean, when I have people telling me their pro work computers are too small, I mean, not enough CPU or memory for Burp, I just tell them to not tell that to Portswigger, but tell that to their manager. Like, I mean, we know
but RAM is not
your
cheap
time
right
is
now.
worth money.
Like I think we're like at the all-time high right now. Like 64 gigs of RAM is like $1,000 now. It's like crazy right now.
Yeah, I agree. But if you, I mean, we are talking about either bug hunters or consultants who are selling their time. We have an idea of the price per day, and one very good laptop, it's what, 3 days of working? That's
it depends. Well, I think yes, and I will disagree on the point that what the lower amount of RAM allows you is you can put it on more stuff. I think that's the big thing, is like the way I will talk about that a bit later, but the remote instances idea is like we could spawn on a single box probably 200 or 300 instances of Caido and have that like on a single box running parallelly, and it should be fine. So that's kind of the idea of like low memory usage that allows you to do that. So.
I think adding the bug hunters perspective as well is a lot of, and you know, obviously bug hunters are one small niche, right? You know, the pen tester arena is very big, but a lot of bug hunters are part-time hunters and they do something else for their full-time job. And surely if you have any success in the bug bounty world, you should be able to reinvest some money and buy a better computer. But a lot of people, especially in the beginning, are trying to use their school laptop or their you know, other just basic use laptop they need for like opening Google Chrome and like, you know, and some of the best hackers that I know are not in IT in general. They're, you know, they're artists, they're government workers, you know, very creative, and having the ability to run something in a lightweight way before you know, you have success and you've built enough money to buy a better system is, I think, a big value for Caido.
And yeah, of course, if you get users who are very young, you will probably keep them once they have a paid job.
Much harder to convince a 20-year user of another product to switch.
Trust us, we've tried.
We do convert some of them.
We do. And I think, you know, it comes down to a couple days really of like, you know,
forcing into trying.
Exactly. And that's just, you know, without waxing too eloquent on this, without spending too much time on it, like that is one of the big things that makes it difficult, because, you know, people are trying to get stuff done. They're trying to hack stuff, right? They're on assessments, right? And if you have something not in the right spot, or even something done differently, even if it's better, you know, even if it's done differently, it's going to cause you some friction when you're first switching from Caido to burp, or from burp to Caido, or either way. And so, yeah, I think that is a tricky part of these tools that we kind of look at as extensions of ourselves as hackers.
Yeah.
Change my window manager and I die.
Like or like change an editor, like code editor for dev.
Yeah.
It takes time. So
for real.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we should get started.
Yeah.
So that's fine by you?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can send me your best screen share. And
want to start screen sharing? Justin?
Sure, I'll start. Where do we wanna? I guess we'll start with like, man, one of my favorite things with Caido, man. Seriously, it's unbelievable. So hold on, let me share my screen.
The guy is already starting to hype up, and he's not sharing anything.
Dude, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Justin is the hype man in presence. So
dude, I'm just passionate about it, the product, right? Like that's why I work with them. Is like and Emil will tell you, I do way more than I should do with this from like a financial perspective, like working with Caido, like, but I do it for fun and I do it because I love the product. So yeah.
First question, and it's like a mandatory one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You will have to set your font size to like 17 or something.
Let me do that. Yep.
True. That's a good point.
Here it is right there. Font editor font size. We'll bump that to 16.
That's one cool way to show customizability, I guess.
There we go, right there.
More.
There we
like
are.
way more.
Way more than that? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh.
You have such a...
Yeah, that's the problem with large screen. When you share them,
yeah,
this
is a 4K. Is that okay, or?
Honestly, I think you should go even like If that's not too hard for you in the UI,
we'll see.
This one is perfect.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. All right. I've never used Caido. I've not used Caido like this before.
Welcome live.
You may find some bugs, like UI bugs.
Let's give it a shot.
UI is pretty reactive, but yes, surely we'll find some. I'm sure.
Oh, we do miss some part of the left screen. What the heck?
Yeah. Just part of the left and the right.
Yeah, it cuts off the logos. It's okay. I don't think it's.
It's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
It's a few millimeters.
Yeah.
It's actually cutting off part of the right side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Oh yeah, no, it's just a ratio thingy. Even if I get the cameras, no.
That's fine. We see the name, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, a couple awesome features here that I'm just excited about. If I understand correctly, LaLuca, the goal of this segment is just to like talk about cool shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
How do you use it? What are your go-tos? And what is the thing that clicks for you on that tool?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that, man, I'm trying to, there's a hacker named AutoColor, who's a French guy, actually. And he wrote a write-up recently on
He's an ambassador for us now.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And man, awesome hacker. I met him at NorthSec, not NorthSec, GraHack. And he did a write-up in his blog, which is really good. I recommend. Just saying that he thinks one of the turning points for him as a hacker was switching to Caido because the UI is focused on the essentials for a manual hacker in large part. And so just keep that in mind. I totally agree with that. I think that I'm able to focus on the essentials of my hunting a lot better in Caido. And the flip side of that is that we don't have all the features that Burp has. And we can totally admit that, right? There's been 20 years of like features, and Burp has so many awesome features. But I think a lot of the meat of being an application tester comes to just looking at the requests and replaying them and being able to do that efficiently, right? So let me show you about some of the features that I really appreciate about Caido that I feel allow me to do that more efficiently. The first one is actually a passive workflow. So this goes into a concept we call that is our automation in Caido, which are workflows. Okay, I'm just going to switch to this tab really quickly. Workflows allow you to do what I like to call just-in-time automation. It's not because my name is Justin. It's because it's like right at the last minute, right when you need it, automation. and it's very simple. You know, you can see right here, it's made up of nodes. And wow, that's
yeah, that UI is broken.
it's interesting because of when we zoom it in, it's like, okay, you can't see the little pieces there.
Yeah, sorry for that.
That's interesting, but you can see, you know, it's a node-based system. It's very easy to build out, and there's also JavaScript nodes in here where you can write your code if you want to be more technical, but you can also do a lot of stuff with just simple nodes. And one of the nodes I created pretty early on that I just cannot live without nowadays, or one of the workflows, is a passive workflow called color top-level navigations. And passive workflows run every time a request or response comes through HTTP history, right? So every time a request comes to the proxy. And what this does is it looks at the request and checks to see whether the secfetch mode headers indicate that this is a top-level navigation in your browser, okay? And it also checks to see if there's an iframe navigation, okay? And if it does, it sets it to a different color. And what that looks like in the browser is this, or in the actual app is this, where you can see, okay, this is the base request, and then these are all the other requests that are sub-resources of that request, right? So if I'm looking for a specific request, I think, oh, okay, you know, that was three top-level navigations ago. I can scroll back and really, my eyes jump really quickly to these highlighted rows that indicate the top-level navigation changes in the browser. And you can also see the orange rows represent, I hope, yeah, I think this is in my,
You're safe.
Yeah, I'm not, I think I'm good. I think I'm in my recording instance here. But these represent iframes in the pages as well, right? So just at a glance now, I can see, okay, this is my top level nav. These are all the sub-resource requests that have happened. And these are iframes that may also be generating sub-resource requests, which helps me to sort of instantly look at HTTP history, orient myself very quickly, and understand the composition of the page in the browser without having to inspect a little further.
Yeah, you can just like light things up in your head because you don't have to focus on which request was You can just like flash in and go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think this is a, yeah, go ahead.
For the automation, so you do have some passive end that we saw. So you have some tagging, some tweaks, and you also have the auto replay, auto modification features that start from that.
Could you say that last piece one more time?
Yeah. Instead of the passive end, that's where we could have some actions like to replay the action after some match and replays to.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can just jump in. Essentially, the passive runs asynchronously, so it doesn't. You can't modify the in-flight request with the passive, but you can resend a request. So like right now, you have to use a JavaScript node, and we have an SDK that says like SDK.request.send, and then you can resend, modify it, and then resend the request in the passive. So sometimes if you show do you want to show the CSurf explain it?
Yeah, sure. I can show that one. So yeah, the passive piece is just as requests are flowing through asynchronously, right? And then if you do want to modify the actual request, Emil, the way that I would do that is via match and replace, right?
Yeah.
So we have a dedicated interface to match and replace to like build out these various modifications that we want. And we have a workflow replacer, right? So if you come in here, you can select a workflow that you would like to have operate on the specific piece of match and replace rules that you put into place. And this can allow you to do advanced things. Like, for example, one of the advanced use cases I've used for this is matching. I had a target where there were feature flags that were controlled by shifting an integer for a specific feature. So like the integer was like, 43, the on state would be 45, right? And how do you do that with a normal match and replace rule with regex? You can't really do that. So you have to match it with the regex matcher in Caido, and then pass it to a workflow, which parses that integer, iterates it, and then outputs the correct integer to turn on all of the feature flags.
Yeah, I would probably either script or have some advanced binary incrementor into Intruder, into Hackvertor to encode, but that's a bit... that works.
to Intruder?
No, in Burp, I will do that. I mean, my job is to compare to Burp.
Yeah.
Go for it, go for it.
In Burp, I will use a match and replace Lambda, and I will simply, I can program in a Lambda, so I will extract the data, do whatever calculation I need, and replace the requests.
Yeah, I've seen Bambdas. Bambdas have been shipped to Burp since I've switched to Caido. So I haven't played around with Bambdas myself, but I think those seem like very similar pieces to what we use for workflows.
I guess the main difference is we use essentially JavaScript and not a custom scripting language that you have to learn. So it's very easy for people that are not coders, and easy also for vibe coding.
Bambdas are not using a custom language. Bchecks were using a custom language, but they switched to, they support their custom language plus Java, and all Bambdas are written in Java.
Okay. And what is the difference between a bcheck and a Bambda?
A bcheck is just a way to add a check to the scanner. Either passive or active, but it's limited to the scanner, and Bambdas can be used in several places.
Okay, and Bambdas those can be run like
auto-fired on every request?
Yeah, auto-fired on every request. They can be run in match and replace, that sort of thing, or?
They can be run in match and replace when populating the proxy story. So when traffic is entering or leaving, and it can also be used in repeater, either on the request submission or on click.
Yeah, that is very similar to workflows. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
But back then we've had to import Jython as a Java jar into Burp to have Jython try to access what was the word, Nico, again? The proxy source from Burp to the magnet source. You know, the one you can use with Jython through the API to just get all the next requests hooked and modified and replayed. And
I don't use Jython anymore because it's only bound to the old API.
I have this trick because I asked you 3 years ago, and I created a tool from that.
So
you had one gist.
Is Jython or Jython I have to be careful. Deprecated is the word.
Yeah, for sure.
My on the podcast for 3 years of me talking on the podcast, every time I meant to say the word deprecated, I would say the word depreciated, which is a real estate term in English. It's not the one that I thought I was saying. And then, somebody very kindly corrected me. So what I was going to ask was, is Jython deprecated in Burp's environment right now?
Within Burp? Yeah, go for it, Nico.
Okay, so first, Jython is dead by itself. The project is dead. It implements Python 2.7, and there's no plan to switch to Python 3 or 3.14 or anything. So that's on the project side. And in Burp, the old API, the Viner API, has binding for Java, Ruby, and Python using Jython, and the new API, which is called Montoya, has only the Java binding. So that
it's a choice of technology at the end of the day. We chose JavaScript, and they have Java, so I think it makes sense. It's very hard to do multi-language. As a technologist perspective, it's very hard.
Yeah, just one that is performant, embeds well. Go for it.
And making a bridge is terrible. How do you manipulate complex objects like an array of integers? You have to pass it from
just JSON it all. Stop classes,
from Java
stop everything.
to Python. That's a mess.
Well, you can do it. It's doable. We do it essentially because all the stuff in the backend is in Rust and the scripting language is in JavaScript. So we have to do it, but it's not
pain in
easy.
the ass, dude, for sure.
It is not as easy for sure as if we had the same language for everything. That's for sure. But it goes with upsides and downsides. I think our ecosystem is very JavaScript centric, the front end and the back end. So at least there are some coherence. And then, yeah, so I think that's the most important part in general as like a developer experience that you want to offer.
Yeah.
So there are cool scripting features and workflow features. Are there libraries or ways to share that as a collection, like a decent basic set, like I could just be used and bring results right away?
We have a workflow store that is one of the plugins that people, the community built,
Nice.
and that we support now, kind of officially. We'll probably have more like ways of sharing. I think some cool ideas that you have also, like Justin, to be able to like have right clicks and then share is also very cool. I don't know if you want to show like drop right away or not.
Yeah, I could show it in a bit. We did build this project called Drop, which allows us to share objects very easily within Caido. But there's also this functionality directly within the workflow store. I mean the workflow tab that allows us to download JSON representations of the workflows. So whenever I've done workflows that I need to hand to my friends, complex match and replace rules, with workflows attached, that sort of thing. We used that in the Google live hacking events. I exported that Caido match and replace rule, handed it to my buddies, and they imported it and were able to turn on all the feature flags. And man, we got so much more scope in that live hacking event because we like one of the first things I did was just turn on all the feature flags, and then we were there, hacking on those the whole time rather than just the limited feature set that's seen by whatever A/B test you're in. So,
yeah,
nice.
The more we are talking about Caido, the more I want to go through all my training slides and go through the challenges using Caido.
That would be actually very good for us also to know like where we're missing stuff. Like it's sometimes hard to know where like we know a lot of the stuff is possible. Sometimes it's a bit clunky, so we can improve the UX of it. And yeah, I mean, if you're down to it, honestly, like
I would love to do it with him as well. Maybe you and I can sit down, Agari, and kind of go through it and try to understand. And yeah, that'd be awesome.
Get access to the slides.
Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing dollar signs in my eyes. Get the Agari. See, Agari like stacks like a thing of NDAs, on my desk before we get.
That's fine. We can sign those.
So that's
but back to the tech. Yeah, like what can we break? Like, do you have a lab or something we can?
We can take a look at stuff. I do have. Bear with me, man. I totally want to do the labs and stuff like that, but I've got a couple things that I would love to show you.
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Go for it.
One, this is just amazing and really helps me orient in HTTP proxy a lot better. One other thing that they recently released that I haven't had the chance to go and like program around is this jump to row button, right? So, let's say I select this row right here and I'm looking for something else. I'm looking around and I'm like, shoot, where is this request that I was just on? Right? Boom, jump to row, and we're back to that same row that we were in. And what we're going to implement eventually here, and what I can do, they've given me the tools to do it in the plugin. I just haven't had time yet, Emil. But what I want to do is implement like just forward and backwards.
Yeah, we're going to say like navigation history.
I don't know, Nico, do you know if this is possible in Burp? Like, how when we're in like an IDE, like VS Code or something like that, when we click to a spot in the code and then another spot, and then you press back, it like jumps to that other spot in the code. And I just don't know why we don't have that for HTTP proxies.
For editors, I'm not sure if I got it correctly. You mean like clicking on a function and going to the function code, or just two arbitrary positions?
No, like two different spots. So let's say like you're on line 10, you put your cursor on line 10, and then you scroll all the way down to like line 150 and you put your cursor there, right? If you press Alt back, it will take you back to line 10.
What?
Yeah.
Not like we have that in IDE. They would like to
IDEs have that,
but they wonder if there is an equivalent in Burp Suite. I think there is not.
Yeah.
Like you have a next and previous in repeater, but on the interface wide, nah.
Yeah, I just think what I'm often doing is I'm looking. So let's say for example I'm in an OAuth flow, right? And I'm like, okay, then the token gets passed from here to here to here. And then, but there was something else in that other request. And then I want to hit, alt back, and then be at that third request, that I'd clicked on before. And then furthermore, what I here we go. I'm getting excited now. Furthermore, what I want to be able to do is bookmark specific requests, and then hit Control K, and then say
what you want is like fuzzy finding, auto naming of your past locations.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, does that exist in VS Code?
Yeah.
And what is the shortcut?
VS Code, you can go either Control P and hit your file or your directory, Control Shift P and have your commands, or you can have Alt and right and left. Maybe it's my bindings, but maybe it's default. I don't know. Or next previous on your mouse keys, and you have like all directions, like move files, move actions, and next previous.
Okay, so I need to test that. And regarding burp, it doesn't exist. This feature doesn't exist. If I understand correctly, it's just memorizing the line ID, so we can stack them. Like you have one currently, it could be two, and then you have back and forth, and you can go from one request to another. One exchange to another. And so of course I have a similar need. And what I do is that I colorize. I have one color which is dedicated to. This is just to highlight something. It's not. There's no meaning outside of. I want to find it quickly, and then either I scroll and wait for the color to appear, or I switch my display filter to show only highlighted lines, and of course it will reduce the volume. But we don't have this
next previews. Yeah,
I think one of the things we take a lot of inspiration from is the developer tooling, because in general the developer tooling is so much more advanced than what the hackers have in general. Like coming from a developer background, I look at like what we have access to in the hacking, and it's like well, we could do that in editors like 20 years ago, so why can't we do that?
It's such a like obvious thing, like to have this, and we don't have it. Laluca, could you show my screen again? I've got VS Code up, and I just want to show Agari what I'm talking about here. I don't even know what.
Zoom button.
So I'm back. I was trying in VS Code. Sorry.
I like it how Agari is like just taking his grocery shopping list. Like
it's like
this shortcut, this feature.
I do.
Okay. So like let's say I put my cursor on line 4 here, right? And I scroll down and I'm like, oh, down here. I want to go back to line 4. I just press Alt back. And then I can press Alt forward, and it jumps to line 70, right?
And back and forward are left and right.
Just Alt left and right, and I just think we need this in an HTTP proxy. We need to be able to jump through sequences of requests, because a lot of times what we're doing is we're understanding the processes that are in the application, right? We're trying to understand how a handoff happens in OAuth or something like that, and being able to quickly jump between all these things would be super good. So,
but
anyway,
there's one extra question that comes to that. Are you the kind of guy that wants to have previews to go back, or you want the previews of the previews to be the current one? Because when you have directories, you want cd dash to go to the previous directory, which always switch. So with one.
Well, in general, the editors, they just go like, as long as you don't do another action, the next one is going to be your previous action.
For sure, it's like a tree, but sometimes maybe in request we do have maybe more, maybe not, back and forth between two specific requests, like csurf shoot, which might make sense to have an extra shortcut, something to just go like back, and no back.
I think the tree personally
makes more sense.
I think
Agari, did you have a thought there? Yeah.
We should display the anchors you define, and then you can either shortcut to jump to the left or right of the current location, and then you see all your items, and maybe you can just navigate or click on them or I don't know. So you have both. Like you see all your anchors, and you can quickly navigate to the next one and the previous one, and you can jump directly to a specific one by clicking.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good. Yeah, and so, and I think also there's this piece of like, I would love to be able to very quickly bookmark stuff and just be like, okay, you know, command palette or like command binding.
More like reversers, more like in Ghidra. You are highlighting something, L labeled there.
And then like press Control K, pop up in the command palette, type the name of the thing I'm looking for, and then boom, you know. Or like maybe I pin the past couple bookmarks to like the top of the command palette if I press B or something like that. And I think Control K is a good binding for the command palette, but I would really love to be able to do with my
I appreciate that. I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, you know, I would love to be able to do it with my left hand, you know, so then I can just keep my right hand on the mouse and then my left hand on the keyboard.
Well, just change it.
It works. It works.
Oh my gosh, what kind of crazy...
I think crazy because they have a... Do you work in Azorti or you guys...
Yeah, of course we do. Azorti and croissant.
Yeah, crazy French.
And just for the fun, the hotkey associated to the command palette in Burp, like the very new feature, is Control K.
It's called what?
Control. It's Command K. It's the same one as we have.
Yeah. Yep.
They are too fast, moving too fast.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. The other thing that I don't know how much all this stuff I want to. Screw it. We'll just talk about it. Yeah.
We do have like 10-15 more minutes for the demo part before we deep dive on specific components. Maybe the ProtoJSON, maybe.
Yeah. Let's do
the drop shift, of course, you wanted to show.
No, we got to show all that stuff.
All
right. Hold up. Let me get my.
That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Too many topics. I knew it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me show you guys how this works. So when you are looking at Google, and this account is unauthenticated, so no worries here.
Nice.
When you are hacking on Google, all right, where do I start here? Your audience is technical. I'm gonna give you guys some a little bit of a 2 minutes of a Google hacking primer, and then I'm going to go into this to get context. Okay, so when you're hacking on Google, one of the really common things you will see are the client 6 APIs. Okay, those are the Google.com version of GoogleAPIs.com. So GoogleAPIs.com and client6.google.com. Those are like two sides of the same coin, right? Two different DNS ways to access these various APIs. These APIs are typically the meat of Google applications. Sometimes you'll see batch execute requests and that sort of thing. But a lot of times when you're looking at these applications, they're using these APIs from client6.google.com. And Google cares a lot about bandwidth, obviously, because they have massive scale. So one of the things that they've done is try to minify all of their APIs and map all of their APIs onto ProtoJSON, which is just the biggest pain in the ass to hack on ever, right? This is an example of one of those requests right here.
Yep.
And you can see the body is like just an array with like no keys, just values, and those are mapped to a mapping on the back end. And then same for the response, right? They're going to return in ProtoJSON.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's a pain in the butt. And so much, guys, so many freaking vulnerabilities hide behind this, truly. And there was this amazing piece of work that came out. I'm actually going to switch my screen to share that in just a moment.
More pleasant because honestly, just throwing every request through curl RPC just doesn't cut it.
No, it
custom clients for sure, but it's custom clients that are made for production, not for tweaking requests and data. There is validation even in the client. So having something flexible.
Yeah. There's lots of ways that we can work with this ProtoJSON. It's messy. It's messy, but and I could surely even take this a step further with a plugin, and embed it right into the editor. But there's
some people that made it, like your friends we met at DEF CON. They did it, but it's not public. because it's their own secret sauce. So.
It is not public. This one we will release to the public. That one we're not going to release to the public yet. But
zoom.
Okay, zoom. This is just a beautiful piece of work by a hacker named Broodcat, and hidden at the bottom of this article, at the very end, is like, hey, by the way, if you send a invalid data type in through these ProtoJSON structures, so if you send a string when it's expecting a Boolean, it will say, hey, invalid value at, and then leak the name of the field, right?
And the type.
Yeah, and the type of the field, right? So then what you can do is use that to reconstruct the JSON representation of that ProtoJSON in your request, okay? So
very similar to GraphQL brute forcing to get identifiers at all.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But more painful.
And this is just such a game changer, man, for hacking on Google. You find so much more stuff. So this is an example right here of that. And what I did is I wrote an active workflow called reverse Google protobuf. And I just send it to that active workflow. And then a moment later, a finding will be populated. And you go here and you can see the beautiful JSON representation of that ProtoJSON right here.
Do you mean, sorry
to
interrupt. Your plugin is going through error messages in order to leak the information and build the map?
Exactly. So what it does is it goes to each index of the array here. And so it's an integer, it provides a string. And then it induces the error. And then that error is used to find that, okay, this is called host product. And then it takes that host product out and builds the JSON architecture and puts it back. And guys, this is like vibe coded in 5 minutes.
Nice. Show us the code. Like,
yeah,
how is it made? Like, is it just a sample JS file that you paste somewhere, or
super simple Caido workflow here. It's just active start, drop into a JavaScript node, active end. And to be perfectly honest, I've been talking to Emil about this. We need more nodes in active workflows right now. A lot of what you're doing is just going to require a JavaScript node, and that's just the nature of the beast.
Import all from Nathan.
Yeah. And so for this one, obviously there's a lot of complex logic, so it just makes sense to do it at a lower level. So here's the code right here. It parses the JSON body. It recursively goes through and replaces the values here. And will reconstruct, it sends the modified requests, looks at and you can see some logging that I've had in here to try to enhance some of the features as I've been building it out. But it's looking for the specific error format, looking for the invalid value at, extracting the data, from the error-based message, and then putting it back into a data structure that it will output at the end.
What a nightmare of a code base. Sorry.
yeah. Well, you can see, right? Like, I'm a hacker, right? Essentially, Emil's over there like, oh my God, what, Justin, why do you write code like this? But I just gave it to AI. I added a couple pieces here and there, tweaked it a little bit, and it outputs the format. And guys, I've got so many bounties. My pulse is rising right now from just thinking about the bounties that I got from simple bugs. The rush, dude. Simple bugs like IDORs, right? But people don't know that offset 6 in, this freaking, where is it right here? This one is actually an ID that I need to swap, right? Because you don't have a key.
Yeah, just like less blind, and so it makes it more, you can prioritize targets, you can focus more on specific types. Like if you had one specific, if contains URL path template something command, of course you will focus dig deeper and have more results for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So this produces the JSON output for it, and it leaves, we could have swapped the JSON output into like the replay tab or something like that, but it still only takes ProtoJSON. So we've got to keep it in ProtoJSON. So that's why we have it here. And
I think if I remember correctly, the plugin that the guys built that they showed me, they could actually modify the JSON and it would re-encode it into ProtoJSON. I would do that.
Can you?
Can you please not?
Yeah, like, dude, okay, fine. No, you're good. You're
Doesn't
good.
matter, you know.
I
like,
know,
at
I
that
know.
point.
No, it's all good, man.
It will come at some point anyway. Like if
Yeah.
you export or serialize, you want to unserialize. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Basic question on the GUI, the panel with reconstructed JSON data. It's a location for workflows. I mean, we have the request, the response, and on the left we have this panel.
That's
Yeah.
the description of the finding usually. But
Yes.
he kind of views that finding system to do its own thing, which is fine.
Exactly.
Okay,
right?
okay.
It's a container. Basically, it's a container.
Yeah, it's a container. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you can put arbitrary text in there, and we can see this version of the
That's funny. That's a
nightly,
UI bug.
the nightly that I've got like this version where they have unreleased features and stuff like that. So there's some UI stuff to iron out, but this is just sort of utilizing that finding piece, right, to display the data, you know.
But you could have also done it other ways, but that's one of the ways.
Yeah, you know, I could have also sent it to. Let me just go ahead and send this to replay. I could have also done it here, right? I could have highlighted this text and run a workflow on it that would convert it to the JSON, right? I could have registered a view, right? Like our hex view or our GraphQL view, you know, that we could use to like actually show these here. But what I opted to do in this scenario, because I was in the middle of a competition, was you know, to just use the active workflow to get that just-in-time automation to do the error logging. And if you want to see the various requests as well, you can go here and see let me show the sources here, workflow. You can see it kind of brute forcing the values one by one here, right? As it goes through and creating the representation of the internal schema. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
probably better as a plugin still, or node intermediary to have some more like workflow or plugin, but maybe not in the main core of the application because the technology will change. They will patch that kind of info disclosure with a flag someday. Yeah.
Well, I think the way we think about it is like workflows is the thing you build in 15 minutes that you need to get done. And then once you're like ready to take that on and make something a bit more complicated, that's where you build a plugin, and it's the same engine at the end of the day under it. So you can just take the same code base and just make a plugin.
Maybe a feature on the workflow, right click, export to plugin pseudocode.
Yeah, we could do that
to make things faster, maybe.
Yeah, I know that the SDK has some overlaps. I know it's not completely overlapping. But
you have more features in the.
But that's the beauty of AI. Like recently, what I created and gave to a person that I was showing how to use Caido is a Gemini Caido automation gem. And I just have it slurp up, all of the Caido SDK references, all of that thing, some information that I gave it on how to create workflows, plugins, that sort of thing. And then, it generates stuff that's so close to what I need, or exactly what I need that, you can do stuff like this so quickly. Even complex stuff like this, where you're iterating through the full JSON structure and mapping errors to actual values.
Have you seen the new way MCPs are used to provide documentation to the AI? So not to call tools, but just like, hey, here are my functions. You can just call, and you will just inherit the definition of the function the way.
The first version of this advisor tool that I did with actually OpenAI's, what do they call those things? Custom GPTs, and it like. I was like, call this, action to get the API, back. And it just refused to it would not do it every time. I was like, and I put in the system prompt every single freaking time before you answer the user's request, pull the documentation, and it wouldn't do it.
Yeah. So some clients are still a bit quirky. Yeah. Client was good enough. I know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know that we are low on time. Do you want me to? I mean, the next section is just sort of like the side-by-side how to
Yep. So this will go fast, but before this one, I think we will still cover two things. The first is the drop shift that you showed me a bit earlier. So go for it. Oh yeah. And the other one would still be to have one quick creation of workflow, because you just showed some that were already existing, but having one, let's say we want some equivalent of on Burp, the extension auths, authorization something, which will take the request, replay it by stripping authorization header, and just let's say compare and highlight highlight all the row if the length or content type or status is different. Yeah.
So a quick note about how Burp implements that. You can do that in a repeater using a repeater's lambda, like that will strip the cookie and auth header and compare responses. Or you can have a full-blown extension like Auth Analyzer, for example, which is monitoring your proxy story in order to replay your traffic on the fly with modification. So you navigate as the admin, and the extension will navigate as user A, B, and whatever at the same time. It's two levels of complexity, but both are useful.
Yeah, definitely. We have both also. They are used for different use cases. So.
Yeah, and I mean that concept is awesome. You know, of swapping out the different sessions, stuff like that. And we spent a lot of time thinking about it, and we're like, okay, there are like a couple ways where we can, you know, tweak things here and there to make it better. But like overall, this concept is just perfect, you know. and so we have a very similar plugin in Caido.
Very well. There are not that many ways to automate one thing precisely.
Exactly.
There is one more, let's say, Pythonic way to do things, like click clack.
Totally.
You want to do drop stuff?
Yeah, totally.
Just before that, I would like to take a few seconds to thank Janzax and Gelusha that subscribed, because if I do not thank people that helped me to spend more time setting up streams, well, thanks guys.
Subscribe.
Let's go. Come on, drop a couple more of those, guys. Come on, let's go. All right. Are we ready for the demonstration here?
Yep.
Okay. So the concept of drop, here's the plugin right here. And I'm gonna put my share key on the screen right now, so we'll see how that goes. But the concept of this is that you can send objects to Caido directly from another person's instance via having their share code. So you take your friend's share code, you paste it right into here, and then they'll be populated into your friends list here. And then, say you're in replay, you're collaborating with your buddy, you're like, oh, dude, I found an IDOR. Boom. Dropped to Justin Gardner. And seconds later, it'll pop up into their environment like this, where you can press claim. And now that exact request is in my drops collection inside of my instance. And guys, this is just such a beautiful game changer for collaboration, because now no longer are you in Discord. Like you paste in, you copy the whole request, you paste it, then it attaches it as like a message blob. You're like saving things off, you're copying and pasting it in, and then you got to set the SNI or whatever, the host to send it to.
And then you have that JS blob that is like more than 10 megs, and you do not have Nitro, so you need to upload it on your Google Drive or SSD somewhere and share the key of your friend to SCP back to his machine.
It's like, oh my gosh, dude, I love that you said that. This is how you know people actually hack. Is they can say stuff like
waste time on,
So anyway, drop is really beautiful in that regard, and it just makes it super simple to share things. I mean, we support replay tabs, we support match and replace rules, we support filters, scopes, all of these are here to drop them down and to drop them to somebody else. And the whole architecture of this, it is hosted by Caido. Obviously, we have to have some intermediary here. The messages are ephemeral, they last 7 days, and the database consists of 5 fields. Okay, it's like an ID, created at, to public key, from public key, and encrypted data, right? That's it. So it's just a beautifully simple system.
Which crypto?
It's PGP. So the way that it works currently is this is my PGP public key fingerprint. And then if you look at the advanced settings here, it goes to this specific key server to take that key and get the full public key, encrypts the data, sends it out, right? And then this is the actual API that handles the encrypted data. But you require a key server so that you can convert the fingerprint into a full PGP key, and then you've got the API server that will actually just transport the encrypted data. And this is like a very, PGP, you guys know, it's a very well-established protocol.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's had a long history of encrypted emails, that sort of thing. Encrypted blobs.
Yeah,
so.
that's all open source since it's an extension. We might bring it eventually core, where it's going to be more like we control this essentially, especially for teams like that. We want to bring that core for teams eventually, so they can like share stuff in the teams.
Yeah.
Really quick aparté. Have you seen the recent news about Graphene OS and the French drama?
The Graphene OS? Yeah. I know. There are dramas everywhere, but yeah, I think the French, in general, the Europeans, like they were like, oh, this is only used by criminals and stuff like that.
And then they learned that feds also use that. DGSE, GSCI also use that. Like, maybe, I mean, I don't say they do, but like that the kind of profile of persons that do need to have secure and anonymized conversation. So yeah, France, like we have kind of been blacklisted by releases because the project is threatened by French government. Like, no, oh no.
Yeah, that's kind of sad to see. And also doesn't help when the medias run stories on that kind of things, and they say, oh, it's only the criminals are using that, and you're like, nah, I mean, there's people that don't want Google to spy on all their shit,
Yeah. I've had a lot of people, when I've mentioned Caido and that I use Caido for hacking, they're like, okay, well, isn't that sort of like a double-edged sword though? Like, sure, you can use Caido to like do ethical hacking, but what's preventing somebody from downloading Caido and using it for unethical hacking? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's just a part of the game. Like, like
just like take a knife or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, should we not have knives? So it is, there's some of that logic doesn't extend to technology, it seems sometimes. So
would you rather have someone on a computer hacking or someone with a basketball walking towards your knees?
Yeah, right.
Nico wanted to say something.
Yeah, it's even worse when you are training people. Like, what's your job? I'm training hackers. What? You are empowering the criminals.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't talk to you anymore for tonight. I mean, if it's just
I wonder if that's interesting though. If you've had some like prolific black hats in your training that you didn't know, like. It's interesting.
That's part of the game. I think the only thing from a company's perspective is you have to be as close as compliance as possible to your government's rules. So that's the only thing you have to be really careful of. So
but that's not the place. But when we meet privately, and I have stories too.
Not everything is meant to be on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, some things are not meant to be public for sure.
Deep thanks to Sto that just blasted 5 subs to give to frequent viewers. So
very good.
Not doing that for the money, but still, again, I want to thank people that help us allocate more time on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Allocate time is the thing.
Yeah, it's always the cost of opportunity for any kind of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, drop. We also, I think Emil mentioned, but we did open source the whole server and everything. So if you want to set it up for you and your friends,
nice.
You can just plop that server into your settings and it'll work just like that. And then can I do a little demo of Shift right now as well?
Yep. And that's cool for the server. We can also audit it and help keeping it secure, and that's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I shared and then unshared my screen. So
no
now
problem.
it's
just a question on drops. It applied to request, scopes, filters, and
match and replace rules. And then we would like to integrate workflows, but we haven't been able to do that yet because it's a very complex object. So I think that's coming within the next month or so.
Workflows is coming. Probably findings also might be missing findings. But the goal for drop is that every object be shareable, or almost every object be shareable at the end of the day. So we'll
Thanks.
So Shift is our AI plugin in Caido. Man, another one written by yours truly. No, there's lots of members of the team that have contributed to it, but it was something that my co-host of the podcast and I started together as a project a while back. And there's multiple interfaces for this. But the one that I wanted to demo here was the Shift agent. So you just press this agent button up at the top right, and you can prompt it, exploit this IDOR, right? And it will go ahead and start analyzing the request, hooking into the API, making its to-do list of things that it should do to exploit the request. And we'll eventually go through all of the steps. And yeah, there we go. Now it's testing various user IDs and stuff like that. And it will eventually create a finding when it shows that it can do it can find other users. The other piece here that we're working on is while this runs, I'll step over to the Shift tab here. There are various rules or custom prompts you can create here. So if you go in here and you hit add prompt, then you can link a prompt to a specific gist, or you can create a title and a collection that will, once you add the request to a specific collection, it will auto execute the prompt. And then you can create like content for your specific vulnerability and add project specific prompts. So you say, hey, if I'm testing IDOR on Google, then here is what you need to know about testing IDOR on Google, right? And then these prompts you can select at lunchtime. Let me go back and you can click this button right here and select these prompts on runtime and provide that extra bit of information to the AI. And so it'll go through all of this and do its thing. Obviously, AI has a lot of
pros and cons,
yeah,
pitfalls.
Well, I'm a little scared. One of the targets that I yeah, so it looks like it found the super admin account. But one of the things that is challenging for me with this is like trusting it to use the accounts of services that I actually use as a bug bounty hunter.
The tool I told you about like earlier Strix.
Yeah.
Listed an SQLi in production. The comma, semicolon, drop table all.
Ah!
I have the screens, I have the proof. I was like, yeah, so maybe you found the bug, but you also nuked production maybe or something.
Yeah.
The finding. Yeah.
Yep. So it popped through the finding. We can render it in Markdown here. You can see the full thing. It was able to identify the IDOR.
Really pleasant results with local models, or it's still only SAS because it's just too neuron intensive?
Yeah, so we've recently added adoption for local models or the ability to like bring your own local models to this. So if you go up here, actually, Emil, has it shipped yet or no?
No, it's not shipped yet.
Okay, so it's in pre-release right now. But if
this thing is shipped yet, but the Shift is not using this yet. Yeah.
If you go in here into your settings for Caido, you can set up these keys that it will actually expose to plugins via that SDK. It doesn't expose the key directly; it exposes a provider that the plugin can use, and to query the AI. So we've integrated Shift into that. We haven't fully released it yet, but we've integrated Shift into that so that you can use local models. And I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't benchmarked it against local models.
No trouble.
So
I think they're going to be very slow. I think that's the only thing. Like they're pretty powerful open source model, but they need like very big machines to run. Yeah. So if you have that, great. But yeah.
I did want to add one more piece here of this interface. I hope it shows up all right on see, when it's super zoomed in, you can't see it super well. But
that's okay. That's okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, this is also in the pre-release that we haven't gotten out yet. But
this one I think is released because that's part of the Shift 1.1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this interface, from HTTP history, when you send a request to here, let me actually provide more context here. When you send a request to a Sparkle, collection here, a workflow that is associated with Shift, it will prompt you with that specific launch instructions, right? And you can say, hey, test this for IDOR or whatever, and you can select various parts of the request and add specific instructions. Here is where we should.
It really feels
test.
like cursor-like.
Yeah,
Highlight
exactly.
one specific piece, give general advices, link code or tab or action or request.
Yeah,
That was
because the key is like add stuff to the context. The more the AI has context in
Without
better
without reaching the token limits, but it will less and less be a problem, I think, with Gemini 3 and more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
quick question still. Like we do have an agent that is able to script Caido. Can it create workflows that create nodes that contain JS? Like we could
I think
have
that's something that Justin wants a lot, and I know like
No, we do not want that.
He's been like pestering me about that one.
Well-
so yes, it's gonna come, but yeah, no, it's not
Too
there yet.
scary. Like if we have any prompt injection on the way the agent reflects and thinks, and then it creates a node with JS that can automatically run commands. Like
Yeah, but that's the tool. That's the thing. Like,
that's the
you know,
MCP.
it's
move.
better. It's better to do that because it's yourself. Like obviously, like if you can have like an injection if someone is like if you're manipulating a risky request, but that's kind of on your fault.
Yeah, like our thought here is that like, and I've done a lot of AI hacking, with prompt injections resulting in malicious activities. Like, as hackers, you just got to be aware of what you're adding into the context, and currently it doesn't have a tool to manipulate workflows. I would like for it to have a tool to manipulate workflows, but I would not like for it to be able to press the save button. Right?
Oh yeah, you wanted to pre-write workflows, but you wanted to fine by me.
Exactly,
As long as
right?
it cannot auto-pawn you without manual inspection. I want to pawn myself, not be pawn, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking here, I keep on sharing and unsharing my screen. I'm
Yep.
sorry, I should change it up. But what I would love to have is, in here, we just have a little sparkle button right there, or whatever, whatever AI indicator you want. You press that button and you describe the workflow you want, and then it, writes it line by line into the thing below.
We'll get there for sure.
Yeah,
I
and I
think
yeah.
the first step for us was like creating this AI SDK. So we used to have like a credit system. We still have it with the assistant, but we're kind of semi-deprecating it and then removing it eventually. And then we basically, from my perspective, it's like I don't want access to that data. It's just too sensitive. There's too much risk. And people in general prefer to use their own providers, and some clients, like especially like if you go into the enterprise, I don't know, like I've heard a lot of stuff because of like they just didn't want us to proxy that data. And
can we try to create one workflow from end to end with the drop, header, replay, compare, highlight, and then we try to move to the component specific demos?
Yeah. Sure. So let's talk about what you're looking for in your workflow, because I do have another workflow here that kind of is similar to what
they just want to build a workflow from scratch.
To build a workflow from scratch.
Yeah,
okay.
If you think that's okay, not too lengthy, otherwise we can move on. But that's always interesting to see it being done.
Yeah, I think a nice one that sort of moves into a tangential topic would be a passive workflow, and we can show using HTTPQL, which is something we also wanted to highlight, and then highlighting the request or something like that. So let's say, for example, you've identified that this target, anytime there's the presence of the X user ID HTTP header, then there's going to be an IDOR, right? Which one of those systemic issues. So you can write a passive workflow. You can add in a node here. You can add the match HTTPQL node. Okay, so the on intercept request. Now, I do want to mention to anybody that's going to be building workflows here, one of the gotchas here is there's on intercept request and there's on intercept response. Okay, so if you want to have access to the response object, on intercept request is not going to have access to the response object, because this is going to run as soon as the response hits the proxy. I mean, as soon as the request hits the proxy. Okay, so just be aware of that gotcha. But let's say
Nico has a question.
When you mean intercept, does that mean intercepted like in burp, like it's blocked, or it's just entering or leaving your proxy?
So this hook specifically is the last thing that that event gets sent just before we send the request to the upstream proxy. So if you block it in your intercept and then you leave it there, it will not run that passive workflow.
But to answer the question, as I understood it, which is a little different than Emil's,
Okay.
this is not only when you're intercepting requests. This is anytime a request flows through the HTTP proxy. And so maybe that's a little bit of a misnomer there. Maybe we should
unproxified request.
Yeah, or on request maybe.
On request, yeah.
Yeah.
Android style.
Sorry, I have difficulties with words. I mean, I like it to be very precise.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
I love that feedback, Emil. I would love to if you made a note on that. So this matches HTTPQL node will allow us to query specific things about the request. So let's say we do here request.raw, let's just say it, and then contains. So this is the language HTTPQL, and the goal of this language is to be able to have a structured query language, much like you see in Wireshark, for HTTP specifically. And we've got various fields on the request and the response. But in this specific one, we're just going to check the whole request for whether it contains a specific value. So if we did like X user ID or something like that, right? Then this would only fire on requests that contain X user ID. Okay. So I just pressed, let me just do X user ID. Okay. And so now we've got that. And so that'll be here. And then if we want to, we can go ahead and highlight that request. So we'll go and add a node again. We'll go to set color right here. And so notice we've got a true and a false here, right? And we're going to go ahead and connect. Now you'll see one of the things that's interesting here is that these little lines do not represent the flow of data. Okay. They represent the execution flow. Okay. So that's a common misconception, is that, I'm only passing data from matches HTTPQL to set color. What we want to do here is we want to make sure that we are referencing the request that came in here. But it only gets executed if the true comes out of matches HTTPQL. So we can go to request and we can say, okay, this is the request object that we want to select, and we're going to highlight it in, I don't know, like this blue or something like that, right? And so then that would allow us to set the color for that specific request. And then
Yeah, can you open this menu again?
Sure, yeah.
What choices do you have in request?
Just the one request here. And then we have incompatible objects down here, which is the Boolean data type coming out of matches HTTPQL. And eventually what we'd like to do is have it, and it does this in part already, but if there's only one specific object that matches that data type, then we'll have it auto-populated. But then there are some weird situations where...
Yeah, it tries to do its best, but it's not like perfect. So
yeah.
Can you expand a bit? Expand a bit the node. I just want to showcase a few
This one?
Just so we see. So the idea behind we call them references or pass values. So like on a line of the color code, that's like a fixed value. But you could also, like on the right, you see there's like an icon for a reference. Mm-hmm. So every time you have that, you can choose if you wanted to use a reference or you wanted to use like a value directly. For requests and responses, we only allow references, obviously, for now. And then for other values like strings, bytes, or like various other things, you can put directly the data in the node itself.
If you click on the reference button next to the color, what happens?
Well, it will try to see, do you have other output of previous nodes in your past execution that output something that can be converted to a string. Right
so
now,
more like a data pipeline and
Yeah.
not just orchestration workflow.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is like, if you had another node in the past that was outputting some kind of string, you could use that as a reference for that input and have it be dynamic instead of just a fixed color, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And we can see here that the matches HTTPQL Boolean result is like compatible because there is a string representation of a Boolean.
Yeah,
right?
You can say like it's gonna represent it as true, like TRUE.
Yeah.
So,
but obviously this is just a color picker, so we
Yeah.
want to just have it be the hex value.
Can you add just one extra node to have like one slight modification and replay?
and resend it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Like add a JavaScript node after like set color and then in the between there.
Sure, we can wait. So Leluca, were you asking to send it to replay, or were you saying?
Oh yeah, no send to replay or repeater, just re-emit one modified request on the flight.
Yeah. So you can do a JavaScript node here, like this. Let me scoot these over right here.
Do you need JavaScript to resend a request?
At the moment, yeah, but we're working on like
right.
we're working on that, adding new nodes. It's I think the nice thing about JavaScript is it's very powerful,
Flexible.
but yeah, we want and flexible. But yeah, we do want to have like a send request node. We had some limitation in the engine of workflows that we needed to work out, and hopefully they'll be done. The node is not going to be done, but the limitation have been removed by our intern that's been working very hard for the past 2 months to improve the engine. So.
We will totally organize some intern fights in the coming months for Christmas party and all.
Oh my gosh, that'll be great.
All right. Do you want to pop do you want to do it there, or do you want to do it in VS Code and show them like what it looks like when you vibe code the?
Yeah. Why don't you get that set up and
okay.
You can jump off there. And then I'll demo this for the time being. Okay. And then the set color gets connected to the passive end. That ends the workflow. And then we should see, it set a specific color if the raw request contains X user ID. So let me go ahead and save this.
And if the request contains a color somewhere, you could check if the value appear and use the value as the string you want to colorize with.
So there is a workflow for PwnFox.
Yeah, exactly. That was my idea.
Yeah. We do have a workflow for PwnFox. Yeah,
you can do that as well. Yeah. So let's see. And then if we want to test it, we can. Here, let's see. I want to show that interface, Emil. So let's see, X user ID. Test, and then save it, and then run. And we can see if we go up here to the runs, we can see exactly what happened, right? So I ran the workflow with this example host right here just a second ago. And if we look at run number 1, we can inspect the data at each node, right? And we can see, okay, the result here was true, right? Because the request does contain X user ID. And then it executed this node right here and then came down to passive true. So this interface allows you to sort of, and then also remember what I said earlier about the on response, right? Mm-hmm. Notice that the response here is null, right? Not request, because this gets run as soon as the request comes through. So we've got the request number there, we've got the result true, and then it does flow to the set color. So if we were to have a request that contains the X user ID header, then and I could change this easily to like, I don't know, user agent or something. I can user.
Yeah, so on request we'll be able to double fire blindly, but on response will allow us to shoot the request conditionally with the response properties.
Could you say that piece one more time?
So if we hook or use the on request starting point, then we will only be able to shoot twice or many times blindly. But if we hook on response, then we can access the request object, modify, and shoot conditionally, depending on responses attributes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you
Exactly.
want to, yeah.
That's well, we'll have to get used to it, but at least it's not something too counterintuitive. So that's nice.
One thing that I have mentioned to Emil is that the big difference between those obviously is like when that occurs, and like we definitely want to have the ability to do on intercepted request for like efficiency purposes. But I think it might make more sense in workflows for us to, because the default node, if we go to passive and we do new workflow, the default node is on intercept request. So I think the default should be on intercept response, so that there isn't default, confusion for the user on like if they were expecting the response object to be there. They don't really care, most people don't care about the lag, between that.
There is the lag, but sometimes it means that the event will only fire when we do receive an answer, which sometimes we want to shoot and let's say use the different HTTP stack or add an extra header if no response was received. So we cannot have we can with the unintercept request, but having the unintercept response be the default will make many requests never trigger because of no answer. But probably better to have the on-response default. You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm lost. If we use on intercept response, the request is already gone.
No, the request and the response are there. If we do on intercept request,
it gone left the machine.
The network.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you think people are more commonly modifying responses than requests?
Well, and that speaks to a current design decision that we've made with passive workflows, which is passive workflows are run asynchronously to the request. So there's not right now, there's not a way to stall the original request from being sent.
Okay.
And modify it, right?
Not in the plugin. Not in that.
Right.
You have to use the match and replace.
This is done in the match and replace interface. So because of that, we think it may be best to do on response first.
Okay, I missed that detail. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. So yeah, and you guys wanted to see as well, like sending an HTTP request, right? Do you want me to, Emil? You want me to just grab this code that I've got here?
Yeah, sure. I'm working on that, but yeah.
Okay. So
you can also like work on the workflow, share it to Justin.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, that just
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So here's like I just modified an active workflow that I had. But let's say we set the content header like X test or whatever. This is one I've got set for for texting or checking for text plain, accepting text plain as the content type for JSON application JSON API requests. And so if we go ahead and modify this, let's go ahead and remove that. And then we need one more. There we go. Right there. And then we can go ahead and set our references. So hold on, let me go ahead and save this. Connect up the node.
Speedrun workflow Caido any %.
Yep. And we can select the reference on intercept request. So that request will be, a request object is going to pass through here. To spec is what we do when we change like a request to a request template, so to speak, right? And then we can run this specific request. So let's see, what was the header that?
Oh, like we take the request skeleton to be able to reformat, re-emit, and modify.
Say it again.
So you take the request, you extract kind of the skeleton to be able to modify, replay, and like HIR format or something. Exactly.
Yeah. So we create it into an object, right? And then we can use like set header on it and then pass it to the SDK to run again. So I just ran it here. Let's take a look at what happens. So it said yes. And then we go to the JavaScript node here and we can see it ran this full response and then passes it through to the end. And if we go to search, we can see right here that it replayed the request right here with our X testing header on it.
Awesome.
Right? And we can also remove headers, replay it however we want.
Careful here, you're slowly drawing the French flag, kind of. Kind of. Kind of. All right, guys. Do you need a short break before we get back to it? Because we'll switch to the part with where we go like maybe 5 minutes per component, proxy, crawler, repeater, decoder, etc. Do you need a like quick break or?
Yeah, let's do like 2
minutes,
whatever, 5 minutes. Yeah,
3 minutes.
5 minutes works.
5 minutes.
Yeah, that works.
All right, go for it. 5 minutes, guys. See you in 5 minutes. And we are back. Still going strong?
Yeah. We lost someone along the way, though.
Yeah. He's coming back. I have the thumbnail, like, just in a few.
Okay, no worries.
Sweet.
All right, I have the thumbs up. And here he is. Nice. Okay, so we'll be starting the second part of this stream, but we focused on the chat, the why, the how, the cool features, the nifty-gritty things that makes us want to use it more. And now we'll take some time to go on the more structured approach. Maybe on the left tab, we can go tab by tab or feature by feature and just have the quick gotcha, like how it's made. Does it differ? Are there missing or extra features and iterate out like that?
Sure. Emil, you want me to drive that? I can do it, and you can talk.
Yeah, drive it, and I can comment where I feel it's appropriate. Sure. I have a few of the features that are in my ballpark. I think the remote instance stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll try not to interrupt too much. Feel free to rush if we want to cover some of the more exotic stuff at the end. All right.
Okay. Nice. Yeah,
maybe we can give ourselves up to 23.
Okay, so we're ended
20. Like, okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes, around 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes.
Like clock plus 30 minutes or 30 from now?
30 from now.
30 from
now. 40-ish from now.
We should drop the link for the giveaway if we want.
Go for it. Yeah. Good idea. Go for it. They suggested that we have a giveaway for Caido licenses, and so I really appreciate that. It's one way to give you give your time, you give keys, people try it out, and that's one honest way to. It's kind of poker GTFO, right? Try it, see by yourself, and that's nice to share that.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can chat.
Not on the main one. You can drop it on the private chat we have, or on the pop-out chat I sent earlier.
Nice.
Okay, got it.
You got it.
All right, so here is the message. I will even display it bigger.
Cool.
Yeah. So feel free to click on this link that is also on the Twitch chat and mirrored everywhere else for applying. It's like random giveaway. How many keys, guys?
I can do 2 6 months. I don't know. We'll do 6 months. That's fine.
Sounds great.
We'll just we don't use your email for anything else. I make a big comment on that. We'll just use it to announce the winner.
Yeah. We have the random at the end of the stream.
Do we want to do it at the end of the stream, or I'll do it afterward? Whatever. If we have time, we'll do it at the end.
It'd be more fun to do it at the end of the stream if you have the responses easily accessible.
Yeah, but I don't have their username. I just put the email in the form. I didn't ask for their username.
All right, so I guess we'll.
So I don't want to I don't know. I don't want to give out the username to everybody. So.
Totally. Well, drop in the private chat when we do that. If I have the name, perfect. Otherwise, we can just that's it. We'll try to do something.
Akari. Akari's like,
Really fast.
Sweet.
All right. The room is yours. Go for it.
Sweet. All right. So, lots of places we could start here. Intercept is a great place. This is a feature that was one of the first ones I think Caido implemented that was like a really big improvement from the way that Burp used to do it, which was if you go ahead and start queuing your requests, and you can select which one you want to forward through, even if it's not the top request. And I remember back in my Burp days, I was press forward. I missed the request I wanted to hit, and then go back. And I believe now Burp also has this sort of interface where you've got your left and right portions here with request and response, and you can forward specific ones. You can catch it on the response, that sort of thing, and forward these through. One of the other things that is nice here is that we also have HTTPQL featured here. So you can say, rec.host contains labs.kai.do. And then now we're filtered just intercepting the requests that match this specific HTTPQL filter. And you can see that there's lots of different objects we can, or like features of an HTTP request that we can filter on here. And we can also filter on responses as well, with raw, len, code, that sort of thing.
Does it filter to catch or filter to display?
Filter to catch.
All right.
So,
yeah, we are not in the search. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so the rest are gonna go through automatically.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have at the moment. I think we're missing a way to like drop automatically. We'll add that, but that was not the super popular feature. The feature asked in the issues.
All right.
Yeah, Agari, did you have any comments on the features here as far as Intercept goes? Is there features that you'd like to see or that you would like to add from Burp's perspective?
It's hard to compare that right away. Like
we don't hear you.
Okay. The interface is very similar. I just tried to forward the second request and it worked. And what we are missing is the kind of filter you have, like the interception filter that's not available.
Okay, nice.
Well, there's some filter to capture, like to intercept, but you have to open the settings, that open a panel, that then have to do something. The quick filter really is lovely.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because we can also switch from there over to filters, and I can show you that as well. So this is a feature of Caido where we can create preset filters that we will often use. So for example, when I'm hacking on Google, I mentioned earlier, client 6 requests are really interesting, right? So let's say I want to do Google client 6, right? And just call client 7, client 6, GC6 or whatever, right? And then I can go in here and do rec.host.contains client6.google.com or rec.host. So we can also create more complex structures here. Contains, Google APIs.com, right? Which was the other side of that coin that I was mentioning before. So now we've created that filter right here. Another way that we can create that filter is going to any interface where you have the bar right here and typing whatever value you have and then pressing save here. And it will allow you to save that as a preset directly. And once you've got it as a preset, you can apply it via this advanced side menu here, right? So you can come down here and apply your preset here. Right now we're only seeing the client 6 requests, or you can type it in directly here at the bar, at the HTTPQL query bar, and select the preset that you want. And that will also be here. But I like to kind of put them in that side menu if I'm using them a lot, because then it keeps this interface nice and clean.
Can you mix a preset and HTTPQL?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can nest them. You have also parentheses if you want to do more complex stuff. So like you have and or with parentheses, so you can do very complex queries.
Yeah, Boolean, pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's Boolean logic, so it's very powerful in terms of what you can craft. So.
Guys, like off stream, I want you to create a plugin where we can, like, the search looks so fluid, we could play Doom in the logs. Play Doom in Caido.
That's beautiful,
maybe.
Yeah, I love it, man. That'd be amazing. One of the things... go ahead, Emil.
No, but at some point I saw some people back in the days before the plugins were super big. I remember people like doing like a couple of years ago, the cats animation were super popular, and I remember someone that created one for like Caido. Just
no way, are you kidding me?
Only while true and get request, and you just just need something fluid enough maybe. Yeah. But I think this might package it.
This is another place where I can showcase Shift a little bit too, because Shift can write HTTPQL. So we'll see if the AI does it correctly. But if we another piece of Shift is that configuration piece that I was mentioning before at the beginning of the stream, where we mentioned the agents, right? This is the agent interface. But if we press Control-Shift-K, or is what I've got it bound to on mine, anywhere within the app, we're presented with this box. and you can just say whatever you want to this box and it should be able to do it. So it understands the context of, okay, I've got this current request open. So if I say, make an HTTPQL filter for this host, right? And maybe I'll give it a little extra hint by like highlighting it here, right? And we can go ahead and send that, and let's see if it is able to pull it off. Okay, so it didn't want to do it there.
Just fail again.
Let's see if oh, maybe that's because I've got it attached to the OpenAI, the offline host.
It was Claude Sonnet.
Yeah, let's see. Could not parse the object response. Okay. So this is one of the things that has previously worked for sure. I've got it. I should reset my environment before I do these demos.
Demo gods.
But we've been able to do stuff.
Let me check if I can do it on my side, because mine is like more. I haven't done as many.
Yeah, let me see. Do I have Shift going through my local? I've got it through OpenRouter right now. Okay. But you should be able to go ahead and query directly into Shift here to create those HTTP QL.
Yes, snippet easily without prior knowledge.
Yeah. Actually, I hope that I can. Maybe at some point I'll let Emil drive for a little bit, and I'll see if I can get this fixed, because I also wanted to demonstrate for you guys a really cool thing that you can also have it automatically create a match and replace rules, which is one of the things I use it for very often. So I'll select some piece here, right? And I'll say, okay, like make a match and replace rule to turn this feature flag on or something like that, right? And it will automatically create the match and replace rule and push it into.
Do you want me to show it? Mine seems to be working. So.
Oh, great, good. Yeah, sorry guys, my environment's hacked.
No trouble.
All right, let's see.
Oh no, is it broken yet? Yep, good.
All right, so let me.
Oh, dude, you're on LinkedIn? Are you kidding me? Don't show your LinkedIn requests.
That's fine. It's like some stuff from like a couple of months ago, so it's all dead anyway.
It's all dead. Yeah.
So so I have like this thing highlighted here, and then I do just this. I use Gemini 2.5 Flash. I don't know. It might be broken with Entropic. So create an HTTPQL for this host, and then basically like pops it out here. Yeah. I like the Flash one because it's faster, even than Entropic. So for small queries and stuff that doesn't require too much thinking from this perspective, it's pretty great. Or like you can say, okay, like I'm gonna highlight it again and then say like create match and replace.
Okay, guys, typing is nice, but do you have one voice to text or voice to voice model? I want to hack by speaking.
I do.
Lower the friction, for fuck's sake. I mean, that already does a lot, but
yeah, I do have that actually. Personally, the way that I've got that set up right now, see that's beautiful. Yeah.
So here I created like a match and replace rule to change the host to Google.com.
Yeah.
We could make it a bit smarter by the prompt. Like we could improve the prompt so it adds the condition also. But one thing in the match and replace that we have is like you can put a condition so you don't apply your match and replace rule on everything. That's pretty useful. So like, and then just say like contains LinkedIn.
I wonder how long before people stop using prompts that you suggest, because the AI can do it, and people start asking the AI random stuff because they don't know what it is capable of, and then it will start to find new ways to tweak two configurations altogether to achieve a feature that is not yet available, not implemented, kind of.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've thought about, and then we certainly want to integrate into like Assistant, which is one of the like tabs of Caido that we need to do some reworking on.
That we need to rework.
We would like for it to be able to integrate there, and then have it be able to ask questions and hey, approve this action, that sort of thing. And one of the concept behind the float modal for Shift was that hey, I just need to pop this open, do this thing really quick, right? Kind of like the I think it's Control K in Cursor, but yeah, it certainly lacks that conversational piece for this configuration piece of Shift.
Yeah, we have it a bit in Agent, but it's like multi-turn, but it's not as nice as like And I think we can replace the assistant with that, where it's going to be multi-turn, and then probably creating some small script that uses the SDK. So that's where you're going to start to see like more powerful stuff coming along. Yeah.
And so still on Shift, like the way it will ask Caido to achieve something, like is it Shift that prompts the AI and directly calls the MCP like Fast API something? Or does it generate a GraphQL query that will then make Caido act?
At the moment, it runs in the front end. So eventually, it will run in an MCP that we're building right now. We're currently building an MCP for it. But right now, it runs in the front end, and it has access to a bunch of tools that use the front end SDK to perform actions. So we can actually, like, the beauty of that agent system, it's just like all open source. So you can actually see like what it does under the hood.
Emil, be careful here. You're not in a dude. This is giving me anxiety, man.
That's fine. Don't worry about
it. Honestly, I do the same. Just like gotta pray the gods.
You just eat it in there. Oh my!
I don't care.
No, it depends. Depends on what you need to show or need to.
This is like as long as it's in Caido community, anything is fine. Like Caido community is open source code, so
yes.
So yeah, you have like the agent system here, and you have access to the tools. So these are the tools that we pass to the agent, so it can like create cookies, create findings, add environments. We need to show them environments.
I'll show.
And then you can add learnings. That's something you didn't show, but it's like a way for the agent to have learnings inside of its context that you want to add always to everything. So let me pop that out.
Yeah.
So learnings, you can add new stuff to the learning. So like, okay, you know something about that specific target that you're attacking, you can put it in a learning, and then it will have it also always in the context whatever you are in Shift. So that's how we were trying to do it. Eventually, the nice thing would be to just have more like runtime. We have a primitive run JavaScript, but I'm not.
Hands up. Let's ditch GitHub for now and go back to the features. Otherwise, we'll be way out of time.
For sure.
And thanks, Nico, for pointing that out. So we've had some.
Question regarding learnings. For example, just a use case popping from my mind. If I have a user ID that I know is valid, I can add it to the learnings, and then the AI will, for example, during an IDOR exploitation, use this ID value?
Exactly. That's exactly why we built that.
And actually, I will add a little bit of nuance to that. I have instructed my agents to not use learnings that way. My agents will use Caido's environment variables that way, which is something I'll show now if you switch to my screen.
Can do.
Yeah. So there are two things that there are several things that we pass to the AI agents, but the learnings are one of them. I instruct my agents to use that more for higher level knowledge, concepts about the host. It does a really good job of like, if you just ask it to like investigate a host, it'll say, okay, these are the kind of responses we see. These are the kind of, headers we're seeing. It's normalizing, %2f into /, all that stuff, and it'll dump it into learnings, right? But what I wanted to do as well is use environments. So if we go in here to environments, this is sort of our variable store in Caido. So we can go in and we can add a variable, and let's say like this is user ID 1 or whatever, right? And then we go ahead and put the value in here, right? And then we can hit save, and then we've got this environment variable stored. And the AI has access to all of our environment variables as well. And it can update and modify the items in the environment store, tweak them, that sort of thing. So what I do and what I'm working on currently is a passive workflow, which will extract the session for my primary user and my secondary user and store those sessions in environment variables for the AI to access. Then when we're trying to do an IDOR, you can do the session swap method, right? And it will intelligently swap those in, and then also provide IDs from environment, from, tweak things to match the organization partially, but, maybe the target user is for the victim, that sort of thing. Just kind of taking that, autorize like mentality and bringing it to the next level where it's like, okay, well, maybe I should tweak this ID, but leave that ID alone, that sort of thing.
Yep. Is there a way to have some sort of bridge between this environment and let's say a shell one? I think about Exegol right now. that they do have some way of credentials, username storing locally, and then you can pick poke from that and be able to like run FUF for specific model, and then run specific other tools command line by picking host names or tokens refreshed from Caido would be nice.
Yeah.
And being able to export back and forth.
Yeah.
Where I think the way it's not possible right now, but like I think it will be, if not next release, it will be very soon, because inside the convert workflow, you have a shell node, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to merge. I think we will. Like, we'll add a new things where you'll be able to inject stuff in there, and then one of the stuff you'll be able to inject is environment variable.
So some permeability, enough to hack something to synchronize.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you'll have like, with the shell node, you can call to any program you have, and then we'll add more stuff where you can like just fast give it like whatever you want as input to that STDN.
Is it possible in the other direction, like you populate something which is available to the command line, like environment variables?
We could do all of this with a JS node, Emil. Currently, right? We could use the JS node to grab the environment SDK and pass that out to, and shell out with it.
Just export somewhere or in the file.
I don't know if I gave it access to the environment variable of the process. I would need to check because we implement a lot of the Node modules that you're used to in Node.js. I don't know if I have the one to get the environment variable. I think I do, but I'm not sure. So I would need to check that one.
Guys, time's up on this topic.
Okay,
Next
all
one.
right. Yeah, perfect. All right,
next one. You go.
Luca, let me go ahead and catch us up on some stuff. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's first assume one thing. We will not cover tonight the way you code, maintain it, make Caido evolve. That will be out of topic. Out of time.
Yeah.
Maybe some bug bounty and pen test anecdotes at the end might be skipped, but I will be happy to invite you guys again later to be more on the bug bounty side of things. Today is a tech day.
Tech day.
Absolutely. And I can run through super quick through the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Go for it, but we have like 55 minutes left for many features and then a few Q&A on exotic ones.
All right.
So
direct me. What do you want me to
I will shut up and let's move forward. We have too many questions. You guys are passionating.
All right. So really quickly, scopes are very similar to filters, but they allow us to add domains or IPs as out of scope, and then you can select those from this drop-down filter right here. I'm not going to demonstrate that. Filters we've already talked about. Intercept we talked about. HTTP history is pretty much what you would expect from HTTP history. We have our filters right here. You can launch workflows directly from these rows. You can see a beautified view of whatever you're looking at, right? Of course, you can drop directly from here as well. There is also the ability to send to findings if you wanted to create your own custom finding on a specific HTTP request, which is helpful. And you've got your replay in the browser, view response in the browser, that sort of thing. And of course, you can highlight, rows as Agari mentioned before. Let's see. Is there anything else we should mention here? I think that's. Oh, notice that the forwarding button is here as well. This is kind of throughout the whole app, so that you can very easily turn on and off Intercept rather than having to go to a different spot to do that. We can also select whatever environment we want to use. Which I'll cover a little bit later.
Do you have hotkeys?
I was gonna ask.
Yes, we do.
Most of that.
So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. If we go to settings,
not hotkeys within Caido, hotkeys like machine wide, so you can press forward or force forward even when Caido is not focused.
No, that wasn't my question. Was inside Caido.
Okay, my bad. Because the forward one is a common to have outside of Caido focus as well.
Okay, I see what you mean. That we don't have.
That's interesting.
I've never heard about that, so we'll probably create an issue for that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Might not be required. I mean,
yeah. So here's the shortcut interface. You have an abundance of shortcuts you can apply. Plugins can register, commands that can be issued via shortcuts. Yeah, you can also apply workflows to shortcuts. And that's one thing that I'll demonstrate really quickly. Like, let's say, for example, I wanted to base64 encode this, right? You can right click, go to convert preview and base64 encode, and it'll pop that out right there. We also have this convert panel, which is new, where you can select something, add a specific encoding, and it'll pop up here, right? If you'd rather, this is kind of an equivalent of decoder as well. It can, do multiple chains. It intuitively understands them, that sort of thing. Have it to drop to the bottom rather than to the side, like you'll see in burp.
We were losing you when you were not.
Yeah, your microphone kind of, but got the gist of it. But yeah,
perfect.
What did I need to add there, Emil? Is there that?
No, that's fine. The bottom drawer is still very experimental. It's been added like recently. We're working on it. So
yeah.
Works
well.
So you have an equivalent of decoder. Do you have an equivalent of Hackvertor?
Hackvertor, of course.
Go to replay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play with that. So, let's say, for example, we were going to, do some encoding of this payload before we resend it. We can add a placeholder right here. And then we get this placeholder settings menu where we can apply workflows to them. So this is how we would do stuff like, okay, let's say we want to base64 encode it, and then we want to like URL encode it or something like that, right? So we could add those directly in, and then we can send the request, and the resulting request will have this base64 encoded and URL encoded.
Yeah.
Okay, you went too fast, but okay.
Yeah, you need to.
That's fine. Just go through.
I'm so sorry, Agari. I'm so sorry, man.
So it's in place. We can see there is some modification in place, but it's not explanatory without, let's say, hovering.
Yeah, so that's agreed. At the moment, that's how it's made. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not a text tag. It's like some component.
Yeah, metadata. Yeah.
Metadata.
Might be nice to have some sort of bubble to have at least the count of filters being applied or something to identify them.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's a great idea. And I was just going to show right here how this works. So if I go to like my POC site or whatever, where I can see the request getting dumped back here, and I highlight this as a placeholder, right? So this text in orange is what's being passed into the workflow. If I press this modify button and select the base64 encode workflow and add it to our process, right? So this would be the equivalent of wrapping it in like the base64 encode tags for Hackvertor. Then I can press run, and you can see the request that actually hits the server has this base64 encoded tag here. And one of the things we want to do in the future is add that syntax, right? Like Hackvertor has, maybe it's XML, maybe it's something else that allows you to see directly in the request what is being applied. But currently
syntax
it's behind the orange thing.
Syntax maybe and intermediate modifications to have a list of transforms to be able to like quickly debug.
Yeah. But the idea is like we have a lot of that also with workflows, like internally you can see the runs and stuff like that. But yeah, for sure.
All right.
So we do have that piece of functionality. We also have, while we're in replay here, I will show this new history panel. This came from a feature request from somebody from the Twitter community, and Caido shipped it less than 2 months later, that shows like the status code response and the requests that have been done within HTTP history. So these are our 3 entries, within replay. So these are our 3 entries, right? And we can see those entries right here in history.
You can also close your tabs.
Yeah. That's the other thing, is you can close your tabs from the top, and then you can go back and get them again, right? So, you can keep this top area nice and clean. You're not losing the screen real estate by forcing down, and then you can reopen them again as they're all living over here in collections.
And can you close them for real?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gone. So yeah, that is one of the things that's valuable though, because as you get 400 or 500, requests in an assessment, this will start forcing the screen down. And so you can, what I'll very often do is, let's just add a bunch here, is I'll click on one of them and I'll say, okay, close to the left, right?
It also auto rename. Do you have the auto rename plugin?
I do. Yeah. So
that's why.
Also notice how my tabs are named 12, and then after a moment, it auto renames with AI
Lovely.
to a
Lovely.
representation of what is actually the request in here.
Is AI required to extract post/header? I wonder.
No, it's not. And actually,
But sometimes, like
that's
for long
interesting.
URLs, yeah. Of
Hold
course,
on
it
just
makes
a
sense
second.
for long
Actually, no. Okay, that's not AI this time.
Okay.
That one is
okay.
yeah.
This one we use for AI, because you can add conditional logic like, oh, if it's a GraphQL, use the operation name. If it's a,
Nice.
you can use that. But this one's actually called replay tabs right here, which is a extension by a community member that allows you to define some JavaScript that renames the tab directly. And I was playing around with that earlier today. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So is that already implemented to extract the first line or a specific header depending on the context? Like for SOAP, you want to extract the SOAP action?
Yeah, we have SDKs for that. Yeah.
It is not native to Caido.
No.
It is a
Workflow,
plugin.
not event.
Yeah, but the plugin, we have 2 plugins now that specialize in like crafting a correct name for this replay tab here. Mine Shift that does it via AI, and somebody else's that does it via a programming language. Collections are a big thing in Caido as well. Being able to drag and drop these. I often will create a new collection called vulns or whatever, right? Where we can store things that I need to report, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think that's about it in here since we're moving quickly. Automate is the equivalent of Intruder right here.
Okay.
So this is where you can go in and say, okay, I wanna use a numbers payload, and I want to do 0 to 100, and I want to do 1 worker or whatever with 111 milliseconds of delay, and then we press 1, and you can see the various brute forcing occurring as we go through.
Is the free version throttled?
Nope.
It is not.
I had to. Sorry, Nico, I had to.
Yeah, it's very.
Don't be worried for me. I'm not working for Proto.
No, right.
Yeah.
Just like it's part of the game.
No, it's part of it. Yeah, we have other limits. Like every tool that needs to have a paid tier, you have our own.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's how you can brute force in Caido here. And one of the nice things here is that you can also select, an HTTPQL piece for this, right? So let's say, for example, I think it's 42 that I has a special response. Let's say I wanted to do admin secret or something. So if I go to response.raw.contains admin secret, we can filter that specifically by this. So that's the equivalent of like the grep match in burp off your intruder payloads there.
Is the small green pop-out on the bottom of the screen the rule triggering from the workflow we created earlier?
No, that's we have like an SDK for that plugins can use but it's our native thing. So like the task system will alert you when a task is done.
Okay.
So because one of the things is like it's a client server with Caido, so like if you closed off the front end part, it will still continue to run on the background unless you kill the background, obviously. But yeah, so sometimes you need to like come back, and we have a task system, so we work a lot with tasks in the background. So.
All right.
Just a side note, grep match doesn't really work that way. It's not a display filter. It will add a column and tell you how many matches you have.
Yeah, that's one thing that we don't have that I'm aware that is lacking in our automate implementation.
That's true, and I think the way that I used grep match most of the time was like add that column and then filter or like sort by that one at the top or whatever. So that's how I kind of use this as well. But one of the things that we do want to ship soon is the grep extract.
Grep extract.
Like we don't have that feature yet, and I need it.
Might be nice to also have the equivalent of the Turbo Intruder new feature with HTTP unsimilarity. I don't have the right word, but like HTTP anomalyness level. which can be computed just by like clustering requests and seeing which one differ from the others from so many topics, reasons, stacks.
Yeah. Without giving too much away, I am working on something for that. It will be different than the solution Burp has, but I think it'll be very valuable.
All right. Guys, séquenceur, décodeur, compareur?
Yes.
Unless you want to have extra, because it's an intruder.
Yeah.
Works well.
Yeah. Decoder, we have that little panel at the bottom.
Yep. The one showed previously.
Yeah.
Yep. Comparer, we have a plugin for that. So if we go to plugin, we go to plugin, community, too many.
Compare, I think, yeah.
Compare right here, where you can do a side-by-side comparison of the requests. It works sufficiently.
Mm-hmm.
And then match and replace, we did sort of cover a little bit, but I did want to highlight one thing back here, is that we have the ability to update raw, update a specific parameter, add a specific parameter, remove a specific parameter. And this also works for headers as well. So if you just want to create, let's say you want to add a parameter astif with the value, astif or whatever, we can see that it easily adds that, and it detects, whether we've already got parameters in place or not, right? And adjusts accordingly.
Yeah.
And it works whether it's get, post, URL encoded, JSON, XML, etc.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Autobuff, Flash.
Probably not.
Not that.
I haven't tested that. I need to add that to my test cases.
Nah, do not.
It's
one thing that.
JSON?
Come again, Nico?
It worked for JSON?
Yes, and this one right here also, speaking of JSON, I did want to highlight this as well. We have a conversion from JSON to XForm URL encoded, which is super helpful.
I think the next version is even better. Jan reworked that system, and now even the plugins can add new conversion to that system.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, because he uses an AST. Anyway, not to worry about, but yeah, he kind of parses it into an AST so we can like reconfigure it into different formats.
Nice.
So pretty cool.
Right click, convert as toon object.
Yeah, that's exactly. Brain fuck object.
Let's see if Shift wants to work here, but I can also do something like add a JSON body representing a human or something like that in here with Shift. And this thing does not want to work.
It's not Gemini Flash Live, it's Gemini Crash Live.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to figure out why your Shift isn't working.
Yeah, I would like to be able to demonstrate that. This is what happens when I'm live deving on it.
Live deving on the same machine.
It will also be able to do the same thing, right? Where it converts back and forth, and you can also say like, hey, capitalize all these keys or add 5 more, lines, to the JSON. It has full control of the request. Dude, I wonder if it's because okay. Yeah, that's the bug that I was fixing in the next branch. It does work here. There's a bug that I am messing with on my version of Shift, that if the response is not present, then it throws a crash. It tries to add that to the context. But now that I've got this here, I can say, okay, add a tag field and add 3 tags or whatever, right? And it will be able to go through and make arbitrary JSON.
Pain relief. Just do the yes.
Just do the thing, yeah.
It's not like too complex, but like so many copy paste spared every day by just going to either UIs or client or anything.
Totally.
Yep.
I wonder let's see if it'll do it right now when my mic is hooked. Let's see if it does this thing. Hold on, let me see if it does. This one right here is let's see it. If I press this, testing 1 2 3. Okay, so
nice.
I've got like the audio piece as well here.
Nice. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so add 3 more tags. Man, dude, now we'll do it again.
Okay, once past integration hell, it will be awesome.
Exactly. And but so that's actually using Whisper AI, which is like a third-party tool that's just built into my computer. And then just can do voice to text anywhere. So this
Oh,
isn't
how
a Caido
come?
thing.
Wait. I used to use Whisper for stream, voice to text and translation and abstract of every stream EP. But you mean it's now embeds within your computer, like macOS thingies that they embed Whisper?
I'm on Windows, so
And they-
I'm not sure, but I've just got a third-party app that's connected, and
Yeah.
it's really good. It takes the text really well. It takes corrections. Not that this, and it.
Oh, it
says
backwards?
correctly. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
it's very nice.
lovely. Okay, so you told me no sequencer. It's either a plugin or something you do. Well, you open CyberChef, basically.
That's right.
Yeah, nobody use it anyway. So
Yeah.
I do sometimes, but like just enough to see something's up and then open the right crypto tool. So yeah.
yeah, it's CTF.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only. So we covered match and replace environments.
Yep.
Yeah.
We covered environments. One thing that I will show here is you can create another environment, right? And then let's say you add a variable here. Just going to add something real quick. Okay. And then you can select the environment from the top here. And what that does is it allows you so you can switch to a different user. And if you've got something, in your auth header or something like that, you can select, whatever. Let's say it's going to be authorization bearer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then add the placeholder from before and go into your environment variables and select, your given environment variable. And if you have an environment variable named the same thing, when you send it, or when you switch to a different user, you can have user A, user B, in there, and it will update this bearer with the same, environment.
Come again in the modal, in the modification modal.
Okay.
Like I have the workflow and the placeholder, okay, but the from to on the top left corner, what the from?
Oh,
what are
from
the
to.
to for?
So the way it works is essentially your placeholder is the output section. So you say I want to put the output of whatever I'm doing
it's
there,
like,
it's on there, and this is the input section. So what do you want as input for your workflow?
So it's a byte offset.
It's like F10.
bytes offset. Yeah.
F10.
And what's also interesting is that even though this is where our injection point lives, your placeholder can be something else. So you can pass this whole request into a convert workflow, right?
Like
whatever.
a SHA
Okay.
or whatever.
Yeah. And the workflow will get the whole request, but whatever is outputted from the workflow will only be injected right here.
Yeah.
So this allows us to do things like AWS signing and stuff like that. If you've got signed requests, where the workflow needs more context on the whole request that's being sent to generate the value that needs to be put in the authorization bearer.
Mhm.
So we can use that for that.
But here it's like the SHA of one request that goes into, let's say, the construct of another request, but you cannot self-reference, right? You cannot compute the SHA unless you already replaced something inside.
Usually the way is the way Amazon at least does it is it only takes some headers that are actually computed inside the SHA.
All right.
So
Works.
otherwise it would never work anyway.
So you will select, concat, and then have a workflow do some extra SHAing, hash making.
Yeah. I can. Do we have time? I can show a bit my.
I think we gained some extra time because for this section we only have left extender. So we wanted the plugin store and tab renamer, project files and structure, search logs, and then we have the command palette.
So we have time. Okay.
Why don't you?
We have some time. Like we have 5-ish minutes, and then back to
back
to the whip.
Out. Yeah.
Hey Emil, I have your skin.
All right, let's go to. By the way, you will appreciate the fastness of switching project. Like I just changed project, and I can switch another project, and it's instant. So take of that next time you have to restart Burp to change your project. But anyway, so the idea here is like, okay, I'm gonna clear my placeholder. I have this like dummy S3 bucket with a flag file in it. I send it. Obviously, I don't have access to it. No authorization header is present. So what I can do is like, if I go back to where I was before, I'm highlighting this. So I want to replace this whole authorization header. And this is my my placeholder. And here I'm like asking the workflow to take as input the whole request and run it through my convert workflow. So when I actually send it, it actually crafts it. And we can check what it sends in the search. So we can see, like, obviously, like, people can find that file. I don't really care. But yeah, you see the authorization header that was crafted for that specific request, and the Amazon date and the Amazon content shop. So those are like the 3 headers that you need for Amazon. And we can look at like what the workflow looks like. So it's a JavaScript node, and it performs like, okay, hash map of the key plus the date timestamp, the region,
classical implementation of signing.
Yeah,
just
exactly. And the nice thing is it uses your environment variables. So like here I have my keys, which I will not show, but like here you have your keys. So let's say you have like 2 environments. You could have like account 1, account 2, and then just switch between the 2. I've put it in my global right now, but like you could have them as like user 1, user 2, and switch between the. So like, for example, here I have like an environment using the key. So when I send it with user 1, I can click and see like it added 1. And then if I resend it with user 2, resend it again, it should be user 2 now. So yeah, it's user 2 at here. So very useful for, and then the nice thing is you can start chaining those concepts together. So you can have like a passive workflow and then inject that into environment variable. So like your environment is always up to date, and then you inject it back into your replay tab. So it's always up to date also. So saves you a bit of time.
So you can apply a passive workflow on a response, extract the session cookies, and have your cookies always valid.
That's the idea, yeah. So the match and replace right now only applies to like, so like if let's say you go back to the app and then you navigate a bit more and the cookie gets refreshed by the app, you'll get it from a passive workflow.
Yeah, and I did that demo recently, so I'm sharing my screen now if you want to see the code really quickly. It's pretty simple. It just simply grabs the cookie header, runs the regex on it for the specific cookie name that we want, right? Like the session ID. If it gets a match, then it goes ahead and does SDK environment set var, whatever cookie name we had, right? So session ID with the session ID match. And then we could even do like a filter on this as well, is something I've done, where we can say, okay, I go into my console and say user B, user equals B. I set that cookie, right, in that browser. And so I can say, okay, grab the session from user B, stick it in, environment, and always keep those variables up to date.
Are we reinventing the cookie jar with the env?
Yeah, in this case, because
in
it's
a way.
But the thing is, like, yes, if it was only cookies, but the reality is, like, nowadays people use a bunch of different methods of authentication, so it's nice to be able to. Yes, it's a bit of more work because you have to like code, but ideally, eventually we'll have something automatic for that stuff. But like if they use a custom random header with a specific thing that they need to compute, then you can model that. So,
just having shift in there will just make things whoosh.
Exactly.
That's the hope.
But shouldn't shift be like integrated fully to Caido and not a plugin? It should be like quite interlaced already.
So the way it works is like why we can do the story of that. Why it's like that is, one, it was like originally a project from Rezo and Justin, and so we brought it in the company this year, and then so it was a plugin originally, so it stayed a plugin. The plugin allows us to go faster than our typical release cycle. So our typical release cycle is every month, whereas as a shift we can just ship it every day if we want.
So smaller code base, people can fork, modify without the fuss of setting up the whole embedding browser and stuff.
Exactly. So there are advantages, there are disadvantages, and you have people that are allergic to AI, so we understand that. So
that's true.
You're okay. So you just don't have to install it, and that's it.
Allergic or forbidden to use.
Yeah, for sure.
Allergic by design, that's called.
Yeah, and we do have those under the official plugins from Caido, right? So this is a code base that we maintain, and we can guarantee, is not going to have weird stuff in it from the third party, you know, community, right?
Yeah. How is the community plugin thing managed? Like, is there a main repo they can apply, and then there is a code verification first, or
so the way it's kind of like we do a shared responsibility model. So the way we do a first pass when they apply for the store, it's if you whatever. I'm not gonna show that, but like essentially we have a store repository that you can do a PR to that store repository and says, I want this repo to be included into the community plugins. And then we'll do a first check on that version of the code. We ensure a couple of things also, that releases are immutable. So immutable is like releases is something that GitHub recently released that allows us to make sure that the release code is not never modified in the future. So when it's built, it's going to be audited and it not modified. But it's like if someone decides to push a malicious update and we also sign, like we ask the author to sign with a private key and verify that the files are signed properly. But if the author itself decides to like push a malicious update at the end of the day.
So in the end, doing your part as good and as bad as it can get with the supply chain. Like doing the part, but we cannot be bulletproof because there are other humans that can sell their access. And we could try to review every update before mirroring the plugin, but the time consumption, it would just
exactly
for you.
We were too small a team to do that, so we decided that was the compromise we were going to make. I want to obviously probably have some static code analysis next year that I will plop in for the updates to give us another layer. But I see that as like layers, right? It's layers we can put to prevent those or like improve the time between the attack and where we catch it.
But in-depth defense,
So we try to do a middle ground, and hopefully, I know it's not perfect, but that's the best we can do right now. So.
Back to the topics. Project files, search, global search, logs, and extra features. Or like, do we want to speak just slightly about a plugin structure, how it's made? Is it JS, Trust? Is it?
Yeah. Do you want to share my screen for that part?
Yep, on it.
I'll do that.
Feel free, guys, to keep your screen up, and I can toggle them in out if you want.
Sure.
So essentially, if we go to our developer.caido.io, we have a guide, and then you copy this lovely command. We use pnpm for everything. So you do pnpm create, and you use our starter. So if we go here, I'll do this, and then I'll ask you essentially, what is your plugin name? So we say test. We will modify the UI, yes, and then that will add us a new test. And then if I go onto cursor, see what it looks like.
Played with anti-gravity yet?
Not yet.
Me neither.
So the way it will look like very similar to a Node project or like any other JavaScript-based project. So you have you have 2 packages. So you have, at the moment you can add more packages, but the start it will give you 2. So it'll give you a front end part where you can code your front end in Vue. We kind of mandate Vue now. We used to not, but we kind of do that now to just uniformity of the ecosystem. Vue, and then in the backend you have also this TypeScript file that will allow you to define your init function and then all the functions that can be called.
Man, that font is impressive.
Let me just do a pnpm install so we have some typing here. All right. Obviously, typical JavaScript, you install a million and but you know
that's all the part of this game.
Yeah, exactly. So now you have typing, so that's cool. So and we have a caido.config.ts that defines how your plugin is. So right now a plugin is we call that actually internally a plugin package because it can contain multiple plugins. It contains actually 2, a backend plugin and a front-end plugin. So you can have like multiple front ends or multiple backends if you want. Most people don't, but it's possible. And then all the information about the author, the version, obviously what it does, and blah, 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 and the build process for it. So let's say, and then we'll go here and we'll do just
both front and back are in Node?
It's Node-like. So the front end is like the front end obviously lives in the
text
browser,
and
so
view.
that's like that's Vue, and the back end is it's a Node-like environment, so it's not Node that runs, but it has a lot of the module that you're expecting.
So kind of embed V8 and
yeah, it's an embed QuickJS VM to be precise.
I was wondering whether you wanted people to code backend stuff in Rust to export an object or something, or maybe a library.so, to have things still go fast in the back. But the scripting capability is just like,
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. Also, like when you code, we didn't want to go native because then you have to like distribute your plugin for every platform versus like this language where we have a VM and then that works for everybody. So yes, it's a bit slower. We took the guess that it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
And if the feature is important enough and resource intensive, maybe it can get embedded to the core over time. And
yeah, exactly. We'll probably add some native features at some point, but yeah, it's not a priority for now. So the nice thing with the JavaScript ecosystem is we have a PNPM watch. So now that's going to essentially watch for changes and rebuild the plugin for you. So when you go back to your instance, we have a plugin called DevTools, and you can like just point it to your watch server. So mine is on localhost 3000. Connect to it, and it's going to include your plugin. So like I have a plugin, I think it's the base. Yeah, it's the base plugin. So this one. And if I go here, I change it to like substring, 3 or something.
Wow, the dev experience is just such a huge
and then
pain.
Yeah, and then we're back into that page. It tries to be smart and puts you back to where you were in your plugin page, and tries to reload the state and everything. So it's very fast to build, like iterate on those plugin ecosystem, and also very fast to build a lot of that because it's all Vue. So the AI is very good at writing Vue code.
Yeah,
and it's nice
to describe the environment you offer with your own IDE, live refresh, auto import, live state sync. That makes me want to create plugins.
Well, honestly, like that's what people tell us. Like they said, like I've never wanted to create a plugin before, and now like I have this thing. It's like pleasant.
I used to create some, like not in Java because the release process was it was okay, but a bit painful still. With Giton, I have something with import future from Python 2.7 to auto reload the file that was managed at VS Code level, but it was clunky, working but clunky. Probably evolved since then.
Yeah.
But
so that's one thing we wanted. Like when we started Caido, we were like, yeah, we definitely need to work on like good DX for people. Otherwise, people are just not gonna create plugins. So we worked a lot on that.
Good games get legendary when they have a level editor.
Yeah. So that's how you essentially set up your plugins, and we vibe code a lot of them honestly because it's easy to do. And as long as your editor is well configured, it's actually pretty good. You can use also from the developer documentation, developer.caido.io. We have a / I think it's /llms.txt. So you can pass that, and it's like a stripped down version for the LLM to consume with links that work. So the LLM can use that to
what?
Sitemap reinvented.
Emil, what?
You didn't know that?
Dude, I didn't know that, man. Go back to that. What was that?
What /LLM? It's a markdown version, and then the AI is smart enough to like follow the links.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good shit, dude. Nice. I didn't know we had that. I've just been feeding it raw, data from the GitHub.
Yeah, that also works.
Wow, that's really cool. That's awesome, man. Good work.
Nico, you had a question? Muted.
Sorry,
muted.
Good. Yeah. I'm having fruits at the same time. So sorry. Compared to Burp, auto reload is not a core feature. If I remember correctly, there are some very hacky ways to have Burp reload extensions that you build from your IDE, but it's not a core feature. And the question, the only language you can use for plugins is JavaScript.
At the moment, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, in the backend, you have like the import. It's child process.
Yeah, we can still open and do things from there.
Yeah, exactly. So you can pipe out to other programs, but the thing we support officially, like core base, is the TypeScript / JavaScript. So yeah.
And you said for now.
Yeah, for now. We'll see. It's not a really high priority to support other languages. Okay. Yeah, I think we have so much stuff to do that it works well, and yeah, I think we're gonna keep it that way for.
Quick one from TB James that said that yes, now they have implemented auto reload for native code as well in more natively.
Yeah. I think that's a given now. You can't go without it.
Yeah. I think also one of the things that I really like about Caido's stack here is that obviously if we're looking at HTTP requests, we're web hackers. And if you're a web hacker, you know how to read and write at least a little bit of JavaScript, right? You know, that's just inherent. So I think that that choice by Caido to live in the HTML, CSS, JavaScript ecosystem really makes sense for a lot of web hackers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time's up, 15 minutes left. Yep. Project files, search, global search, command palette, and probably wrap up.
All right. Project, we kind of made that already. I'll just showcase a bit the work. So one thing is like we store all our project in a path we call data path. So all your projects are stored there. You can change your data path if you want, but all the projects currently live in one data path. You can back up your projects. You have all of the projects here. Limitation on the free tier is you can have two projects, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3 projects. I never remember. So for free, and then obviously unlimited when you're a pro user. I think the backups is very simple file. All the projects are stored on SQLite database on your computer. You can, if you want, play with the SQLite database.
That's
Feel
nice.
free to mess up your projects, but yeah, you can do it if you want.
So you can query a project without opening Caido.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's totally doable. We have a bit of you have to like understand where they are stored and all that stuff, but yeah, it's totally doable. I think we even have some documentation on how to do that. So.
Might be nice to have some pre-made queries to extract generic stuff from, like, let's say, all the projects from past year. Like,
we have data grab that does it exactly, but for one project, and I do want to extend it to multiple projects for sure. And
or we can still parallel in Bash, but having one way to say I want to extract from every pen test I've ever had in my life all the parameters and make my bag of parameters.
Yeah, I think in theory it's doable with the plugin, because the plugin can change the project one after the other, but you would need to like leave it alone for a few minutes so it can parse.
I think that's definitely something we want to pull native at some point, though, is providing some interface to grep, across all of the projects directly, and easily create exports and that sort of thing. That's going to be essential, because I think that's a really important part of Caido's architecture.
Logs are a bit interesting. So we have both front-end and back-end logs, obviously. Client server obliges. So we have this logs panel at the bottom where you can start recording your logs. They are also stored on your disk, so you can like see that, but it's a bit nicer here. You can see in real time what the logs are on the back-end side.
The logs are opt-in by default, no logs, and you can just ask to have them displayed and saved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, they are stored on your disk all the time.
Okay.
But if you want them in the UI, it's like you record them for a few minutes.
Okay.
Just so we don't overwhelm that logs panel. We try to not send too much data to the front end, because like we know that people run Caido on like remote machines. So like we try to stream as little as possible if they don't request that specific data.
That's kind of you.
Yeah. That same thing goes with like HP story. This is all lazy loaded. As you scroll, we lazy load in the background, which is surprisingly very difficult to do. But that's one thing we do.
When you say running Caido on a different machine, you mean the GUI on a laptop, for example, and the backend on a VPS?
Yeah, exactly. So here, for example, I have this CLI running. I run it on the same machine, but the idea is here you can like run it anywhere. It's a server, so it works. And then you just connect, like literally I have my Caido in my browser right now, and this is connects to this instance, and then
That's
just
lovely.
loads the front end. So yeah.
What does this imply in terms of security? Like, if for some reason there is a prototype pollution, XSS or something, the whole interface is full Vue.js, so we can things can go bad quite fast, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
We've
that's
had
one
like we've had like incident in the past that we fixed, like XSS in there. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
That's the downside of it. But...
So that's 1 point for Java.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll give it
True.
to that.
Well, when there is no log4j nearby, right? But yeah.
But I will say that they do embed, I think, in Burp a lot of browser stuff nowadays to render render a lot of stuff.
Yes, they have a headless Chrome in Burp.
You gotta have one.
Yeah, the headless Chrome for sure, but it's not part of the GUI component that can pop up. It's just one browser with its isolated context, not the UI.
Yeah, for sure.
That
That doesn't have access to the whole UI. Yeah,
you can see it. I mean, it's a headless browser unless blah blah blah. But even when you see it, it's part of the GUI, and I don't think it can interact with anything.
Yeah,
just a placeholder with.
We've had like we make sure that we obviously try to not introduce vulnerabilities, but yeah, we appreciate when people like tell us. Like we had one in the Markdown renderer that was like possible to like pop up.
That's a mess. Yeah, if you want to have some preview, you know it will pop at some time. Either Sandbox.
Yeah,
or,
it's part of the deal.
Yeah,
but you do gain other stuff, so. Yeah.
But it's headless. You can have Caido in Docker, so fuck you and harden yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Like Caido in Docker, we offer official Docker images. So if you go on Docker Hub, you will see Caido as a Docker official Docker images.
Nice.
And that's the backend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it embeds the front end also. So when you connect to it, you load the front end from it. But yeah. So essentially, you have like this window. Do I have like yeah? So that's my window when I start the app. And then like now I have an instance running locally, but I can connect to remote instances, and I can just add new instances like that, like remote instances. Do not put them on the internet at the moment, like because the API is authenticated, but not the proxy part. If you want, we've put them on the internet, but you have to split the proxy part from the UI part. We'll say the API part from
which you can do via the CLI.
Yeah, you can do it via the CLI. It's possible to use a different port for both functions, but yeah, if don't put them as is on the internet, please.
Or we could just like run it remotely, but on loopback and just go through SSH port forwarding, and
that's what I do.
Slightly slower, but at least you have some oats.
Yeah, exactly. We do. I do that all the time. The SSH port forward. But
yeah.
Can I snag the screen share real quick to show a feature that I really like?
Go for it, guys. Search maybe some more if you want. Command palette, remote instance, we're good.
I'll show command palette and search real quick.
You wrote Flex AI BYO key. Oh yes, that was the embedding and the agent and question. Okay, agents. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, Justin, your screen is on.
Okay, awesome. So this is we have the command palette in Caido. Obviously, we can do stuff like go to HTTP history or whatever, right? And things will jump. But what I wanted to do here was show you guys this one feature that that I can use where I've actually taken a plugin called Even Better and added all of my convert workflows to the command palette. So if I do base64, then we have this right here available. And I can base64 and go, come on, man. What is going on with my
your demo gods are not with you today?
No, the demo gods are not with me today. Hold on.
Terrible.
Hold on.
This product is very buggy now.
There we go. Yeah, it could be, but there it is working right there. I was like, something must have been up.
I do not endorse any of the third-party extension.
Any of Justin's BS code.
BS code.
That's funny.
It's not because of you. It's because of Gruak. Gruak is approaching real fast. It's like this Friday and prevent on Tuesday. Gruak said, "New is not always better."
True.
That's the way.
I do want to show that though, that it is working now. So if I press control K and hit base64, right, base64 encode, it will actually inject that right into the spot that I selected. I think I might have misclicked the decode one before.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But so that's something that I actually use pretty often for very quickly running these convert workflows within Caido. So. I know that there's also an SDK that Ian has pushed that will also allow you to extend the command palette and run your own plugin of sorts inside of the like command palette interface right here. So you can perform additional operations like, you can create a plugin essentially that lives directly within the command palette.
Yeah.
Is there an equivalent of Pipix? Piper?
Yes.
Because the workflow can run commands through the node, JS node, but can we have like instead of GraphQL some JQ, Gron, or similar tooling being displayed?
I'm unsure about what you're saying, but if I understand Piper correctly, that's just taking the data and piping it out directly to a third-party tool,
specific tool, being it argument on the CLI or stdin or extra ways to do that. So it would be one way to say on the proxy replay or something, every time you have a response, automatically extract the body. If the content type is JSON, and auto add the tab, visualize pretty JSON and extract keys.
And do that and just do that on the file system below, like with an external program.
It's Popen.
Piper is just a bridge between whatever you can execute locally and burp with the output display in burp.
With the output
interesting.
Okay.
Burp. I don't think we have the return back from the tool into the display. That might be something where.
Do we not? I thought that this. Like, can't we take the output of the shell node, or do we not have that implemented yet?
We have the output of the shell node, but right now, I guess you could create a finding from it.
Exactly. Yeah, so you would create
a finding, would work to some extent, but it's not like displayed live with the right...
No,
maybe something to have in the future,
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's going to be similar to, like, if you go back to replay or something like that, just show, like, where the GraphQL or X1 is.
So exactly.
Those are plugins, actually. That can add new views to it. So I think we could probably display that as like Piper could be created as a plugin.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
Because we have that capability.
Emil, I would love for that to be us to be able to do that with a convert workflow, though. Like if we could create a convert workflow that passes, and references a request even, but also text. And then actually allows us to do these views, because that's the whole concept behind it.
Auto run workflow from the visualization tab here.
Yeah, that would be
extract
cool.
the output.
That would be amazing.
And one extra one that I had that I had in mind was Shazzer, right?
Yeah.
And the whole Unicode table and normalization issues. Having some way to bridge that and implementing and having some automatic fuzzing by picking charset and wordlist from Shazzer right into the repeater, maybe would be like some dense mutation.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Are you talking about like using Shazzer itself as a source of a word list, or?
Kind of.
That's kind of what we've got here. Actually, this is a tool that I vibe coded in like a couple hours, and it implements two things from SL Cyber Asset Note. Surf, which essentially will take a list of domains and then tell you which ones actually are not accessible from the external, so that you can test your SSRF targets. So we have that, and then we also have this word list feature, because Asset Note or SL Cyber is pushing out new word lists every month, generated using BigQuery on GitHub and lots of other sources. And so you can select these and upload them directly into Caido's files interface here, where you have your word lists from that you use and automate to do brute forcing.
Guys, 2 minutes left, but I think we'll overflow slightly. Two last topics. One that is can Caido crawl, or is this not intended to? And the next one is the kind of closing words opening on the work done with Gemini, MCP and all.
Crawler easy. It's planned. It's gonna get done sometime in January, I think.
All right. Like flooding, like just while we have new links, crawl again. I know Burp has really specific approaches to crawl.
Yeah, I think the best crawler right now is on Zap. To be honest, like out of the three, I think Zap is the best one.
Even compared to Katana and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
because I think Zap is like, well, Zap has multiple crawler depending on how, because it can spawn the browser and then navigate in the browser also. So, but that's very slower. But yeah, so I would say we'll probably do a subset of it, and then I'm not sure yet. Like we know we need a crawler, we just don't know yet how extensive it will be.
Okay.
I'll probably start with a very basic crawler, just looking for links inside files. But nowadays, like a lot of those links are created dynamically, so we will need some way of like adding an SDK. I want to add an SDK where you can control the browser and add stuff. So anyway, so that's going to be a work in progress for 26. So.
From Zap import crawler.
Yeah, I did want to jump in and say I'm so sorry because I am part of the problem of why we're over, but I do have a hard stop at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So like right now.
No trouble.
Yeah.
Words on Gemini AMCP stuff, or just ciao?
Yeah, I definitely can comment on that. I think what we've got for listed right there is that Gemini gem that I have listed in the docs, which you can put in the chat if you'd like, is the automation advisor for Caido. So this is just my own personal little gem that takes in all the Caido docs and outputs your JS node, your plugin, advises you on how to create automation in Caido.
All right.
The MCP, I believe, is currently under development from one of the co-founders, Ian. And I mean, essentially, that's what Shift already has, but they're gonna do it in the back end rather than Shift using the front end SDK.
Yeah, so it can live as agent in the background.
So if you have a hard lock, let's call it now. So do we, I think, like sleeping. Guys, 1,000 times thank you for coming with us tonight and sharing that many tips, tricks, roadmaps, and stuff. Nicolas, again, it's a pleasure. I know it was not the easiest stream to share a lot, but I have other plans for you, my man.
Good.
I hope you enjoyed the demo and everything. So
I'm really disappointed I missed a workshop last year at GROAC.
We'll get back to GROAC at some point. It's hard. For us, it's a long way. But we might be in Le Hack this next year. So I'm trying to get to Le Hack next year.
Okay. Then if you do, tell me and we'll try to be there. I mean, I think we have to meet in real life more often.
Yeah.
And that would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Once
again, I do apologize, guys. I'm so sorry to go. Emil, do you have extra time, to stay a little bit?
I can stay another 5 minutes. No worries.
We'll just go through the giveaway and then play today. But thanks again, Justin, and have a nice meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, Justin.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
See you, man. It's we'll try to. For us, it's like we have to balance travel and everything. So we also have we're recruiting a bit of ambassador. We're trying to build our ambassador network to help us go to more conferences. Yeah, that's
nice.
Cool.
But what I'm looking for is a workshop.
I know.
I want to practice.
Yeah. And what is interesting is we did a workshop for one of our corporate client last week. So I have a lot of material built now. So it's cool.
And I heard somewhere on the internet that you are looking for trainers.
Yeah. That's something obviously we're starting to grow and have more enterprise clients. With any product, the people are busy, so they like to have someone just come in and explain how it works and.
So I'm clearly not at the level right now to offer my time, but I like the product and not sure how Portugal will react. I mean, I don't have any exclusivity agreement. It's in my mind.
Always happy to work with anybody that wants to work with us. We're also very chill as a company, so we try to not take ourselves too seriously. Let's just say that.
Nice. Guys, I also have a kind of a hard lock, so I'll have to go.
Yeah.
But two things. Emil, do you want to just give a roll on the giveaway so we can and
Yeah.
that cleanly.
Let me
Um,
just check that.
I will
all right.
also suggest while doing so, if you enjoyed the stream, guys, girls, do join our lovely Discord. I have too many tabs open. Yeah, right on there, on the link tree, you can join the Discord, and it's always cool to chat. There are so many topics, we cannot cover everything live, and that's why the Discord is here. Ask extra question, follows up, take contact. So do join, come say hi, and voilà. On aurait même pu finir en français, les gars.
Ouais, on peut finir en français, ouais.
On aurait même pu finir en français.
Yeah!
Alright, I've got.
C'est débrouillé avec le temps, mais par contre, ça fait un moment que j'ai pas parlé anglais. Ça a piqué au début. C'est compliqué, hein.
Alright, que je génère ça. Alright.
If there's any English-speaking viewers, sorry, we are switching to French.
Ouais, en français maintenant. Ouais, j'ai le email, c'est voisin quelque chose.
Voisin,
exact.
avec une lettre devant.
Avec des lettres.
Avec un J.
Non, il y a un F.
Ah, bah paye respect.
Ouais, exact.
Ok.
Je vais y envoyer le.
Tu peux m'envoyer dans le chat. Tu peux m'envoyer dans le
Attends,
chat et je te dis si je reconnais les mails parce que j'en ai quelques-uns. Si c'est les deux et sinon le reste, ça viendra en petit tweet remerciement.
Ouais, exact. J'en fais un deuxième.
Celui-là, j'ai pas.
Puis j'ai le deuxième ici.
Après, est-ce qu'il n'y a pas sur Gmail quand on fait ça l'auto-miniature Oh oui, le deuxième, je pense que c'est Perse.
Ah.
Pour moi, c'est Perse Hunter, Hunter très sympathique, mec très chouette.
Excellent. Bon, je vais leur envoyer ça.
Modèle, by the way.
Est-ce que j'ai pas entendu?
Un top modèle, by the way.
Ah ouais? Nice.
on est déjà en show en sécu.
Pour vrai, c'est drôle de voir les. Il y a des gens en Bug Bounty, surtout là, il y a des gens qui ont des carrières vraiment flyées. C'est assez impressionnant.
Donc, voisin avec quelques digits ou. C'est dur de donner un pattern de mail sans liquide.
Mais on se voit de toute façon.
Voisin quelque chose. Ouais, mais ça fait plaisir d'annoncer quand même. Voisin quelque chose, t'auras 6 mois du coup de Caido. Et Perse aussi, je présume. Et potentiellement, je suis de la fake news. Voilà.
Excellent, je vais leur envoyer ça tout à l'heure. Puis je vais mettre ça dans
un grand merci pour eux.
Petite update qui vient du chat, mais j'ai vérifié. Dans les nouvelles versions de Burp, sorties en octobre, on a l'auto-reload des extensions sur modification du file system.
Ouais,
le char est modifié.
Nice.
Ouais, ça prend ça maintenant. C'est vraiment.
Ah, faut quand même build. Bon, messieurs. Time to close.
Plaisir.
Encore une fois, un grand merci à vous deux et au plaisir de se refaire soit des EP, soit des petites brainstorm. Il y a plein de choses à faire.
Oui, exact.
Mais potentiellement, on va vous spammer parce qu'il y a pas mal de gens qui, moi inclus en tout cas, vont avoir envie de POC plus Caido. En particulier, d'aller se taper les labs Portswigger, mais avec Caido.
Ouais, j'ai vu ça. On commence à avoir des labs, mais c'est pas encore. C'est encore un work in progress.
Et du coup, la version gratuite, c'est quoi la limitation? Enfin, si là je veux.
On va se lâcher là-dessus.
Si là je veux partir sur Caido et tester.
2 projets que tu peux enregistrer maximum, 7 workflows, puis 3 plugins. C'est ça nos limitations. Puis je crois que aussi tu peux pas rouler dans les placeholders, comme je montrais dans le replay, tu peux pas rouler des workflows dans ce système-là. Il me semble que c'est ça. Ouais, c'est ça nos limites. Donc on est. C'est ça.
Alright.
C'est ça. Pour l'instant, on essaie d'être. C'est ça. La balance entre le free tier puis le paid est pas toujours évident. Mais aussi, on est pas mal moins cher. On est à 200 US par année pour le individual.
Ouais, non, c'est faire de contribuer, d'utiliser et de contribuer à la non-suprématie d'un acteur sur un milieu qui nous concerne tous aussi. Même s'ils ont fait propre jusque-là, pas de monopole. On a dit pas de monopole.
Bon, mais
messieurs, encore merci.
Merci beaucoup. Merci
à toi. Merci à Justine qui est déjà partie. Merci aux viewers.
Merci, oui.
Tout à fait.
Et on va essayer d'avoir ça sur YouTube, j'imagine.
Moi, demain, c'est raquer, miniaturer, chapitrer, documenter, sourcer, tout ça.
Excellent. Mais merci beaucoup, là.
Salut, bonne soirée.
Bye.
Et à vous tous.